Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. This is Manchester United versus Young Boys live stream watch-along. If you're looking for the match reaction, the link is in the first line of the video description. If you're watching live, it's not there because we're live and I don't have a time machine as to what's going to happen with Manchester United, although I do believe that we will win the game today. Now, ignore the team news to my left because that is inaccurate, but we do know that Paul Pogba has been dropped, so it is inaccurate. The team news from Manchester United is thus. Phil Jones starts. Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. De Gea in goal, Valencia captain. Valencia comes back in for this game but didn't play at the weekend. We played Darmian. So Valencia, Smalling, Jones, Shaw, Matic, Fellaini, Fred, Lingard, Rashford, Martial. I absolutely love the front three. I love the front three of Lingard, Rashford and Martial. Brilliant. No Lukaku. Superb. Absolutely fantastic. We'll be talking about Lukaku in a minute and some of the comments that he's made. I just think the guy is up his own arse. And it's a big one, but so Lukaku doesn't play, which surprises me because I would have thought Mourinho would have played him in a game like this, get him on the score sheet, start building his confidence back. But that's up to Mourinho, and I'm actually happy he's not playing because he was atrocious at the weekend. Pogba's on the bench with Lukaku. Andreas Pereira's on the bench, which for me is a positive. Scott McTominay is on the bench as well. Mata's on the bench. Eric Bailly and Romero. So a little bit disappointed. As you can see from this was my sort of predicted lineup. I really did think we would see Dalot. I did get Smalling and Jones right. Luke Shaw, De Gea, Matic, Fellaini and Fred got the midfield right. Rashford, and I did think Sanchez and Lukaku would play. Obviously, I think a lot of people will be saying, where is Alexis Sanchez? I don't know. Why would you rest Alexis Sanchez when he's not been playing much recently? Surely this sort of game, a home game in front of the home crowd against a poor side, is that opportunity to do it. A lot of people not happy with the team. Abraham says Andreas was on the bench for Valencia and never played. And Jack says, is that a joke lineup, Mark, or is that actually the lineup? My lineup on your screen is not the lineup. Don't go with that. That is not the lineup. But the actual team is, and I'll change this in a minute, is De Gea, Valencia, Jones and Smalling, Luke Shaw, Matic, Fellaini and Fred. I mean, to be honest with you, Fred has a good game tonight. He gets man of the match because playing with those two, it's going to be slow. It's going to be static. Martial, Lingard and Rashford up front. My concern about Martial, Lingard and Rashford is always when there's a midfield behind them that's got Matic and Fellaini in it, will they get quality ball? But I think I would have played Eric Bailly today. Of course I would. And I don't know why Matic is playing football games for Manchester United still. It is quite surprising. John Miller says, is Herrera injured? Well, is Herrera injured? Is Sanchez injured? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It's Dr. Mitten says it's a dog shit starting 11. I like the front three. I despise the back four, and the midfield is crap. I just hope Fred can grab hold of it. They're not a very good team, Young Boys, so I would hope that we can do something. I do think we'll win. I think it's always very, very dangerous to predict a result based on a starting 11. You've got to remember that Young Boys are not a very good side and we should be beating them. But the return of the pink boots, says Paul Robinson. Look, I don't want to be doing another pink boot meltdown tonight. So hopefully Phil Jones. I mean, I suppose we could play guess the minute. I tweeted this earlier. We could play guess the minute Phil Jones is going to go off injured. But when Lindelof and Rojo are injured and Eric Bailly still can't get a first-team game for Manchester United, there's something really, really wrong. Really, really wrong with that cup. And keeps playing the wrong midfield, says the Cape. I would agree with that. 8 players on there are crap, says CP. Expecting another 3-0 or maybe 4-0 win, says Muthalaman. I totally agree. I totally agree. And I do. Don't, look. The team news, I can change it for you now. Actually, this is always my predicted lineup, and obviously I go live and then we get the lineup. So this is not the shield of team that you've got there is not right, and I will change that for you right now. But it's a win-win situation for him tonight. I'm actually surprised. I've got to be quite honest with you. I am actually surprised that he is playing. That he hasn't decided to play Lukaku. Because he's clearly playing Matic against the poor opposition so that he has a good game and everyone will give him a break. And he's clearly doing that with Fellaini because that's what he does. And he's clearly doing that with Phil Jones. And he's clearly doing that with Valencia. It's the old favourites. Give them a freebie game where they can definitely play well. And then, it means he can play them for another 10 games. But so I'm surprised he hasn't done that with Lukaku. But I am happy about that. I must be honest. I am happy about that as well. Right, I've got Ross joining me. How you doing, Ross?
How you doing, mate? You alright?
Yeah, not too bad. What's your thoughts on the team?
Up and down, to be honest. Pleased with Fred. Pleased with Rashford. The rest of it, not pleased with Matic. What has that guy got to do to get dropped? Honestly, we sat there and watched him on Saturday, and he was at this world shocking.
I suppose the thing about Matic, just to keep you on that topic for a minute before you move off it, the thing about Matic is, if we try to be fair about Matic, like you say, we did watch it like everyone else watched it at the weekend. He played in the World Cup. He played nearly every game last season. This is the perfect game to rest him because he's definitely going to play against Southampton. So it's even, yes, he's crap. Yes, he should be dropped. But actually, it's stupid of Mourinho not to give him a rest as well.
Yes, pathetic. I think it's absolutely pathetic. You can't pick favourites, You can't pick favourites at work. You can't pick favourites. I think it's dreadful, to be honest. And yeah, look, I'm just clinging on to the fact that he's playing tonight and not playing on the weekend. But yeah, that ain't going to happen. There was a real chance tonight to play a real dynamic, mobile midfield, and he's just gone completely against it. Has Pogba been dropped as well, potentially? Yeah,
no Pogba, no Lukaku, which I'm surprised about. But tell you what, though, the one that annoyed me the most, we were sat together on Saturday, and, I could not shut up about Darmian playing on that right wing, because he effectively was a right wing. And then tonight, he plays Valencia. And it just makes me think, I think Valencia would have made such a difference down that right-hand side on Saturday, because he is a winger. He's an ex-winger. So he does something stupid like playing a defensive right-back against Palace at home a few days ago. And then tonight, he plays Valencia. And I just think he's got it the wrong way round. Some of his decisions are just baffling. That's the one for me.
Yeah, the conspiracy theorists will tell you that he's trying to get sacked. And you know what? It's hard to argue against that at the minute, because it does just seem that he's just making pointless decisions. Look, Lukaku should have been dropped tonight. And Pogba may be rested, but this is still quite a big game for us tonight. Young boys, although we turned them over quite easily, we've gone backwards since then. So I'm going to say that young boys are actually going to be a test tonight, because Crystal Palace outplayed us at home. What can young boys do?
We are in that situation tonight. I think if we beat Young Boys, and I'd have to double check, I certainly think if we win and Valencia lose, we're definitely through to the next stage, which would be great for us. If we win and Valencia were to draw, then again we are through to the knockout stage as well. So win tonight and we're fine. Draw tonight and we do give Valencia a chance no matter what the result. So win the game tonight, and as long as Valencia don't win against Juventus, we're absolutely fine. I do like the front three. Rashford, Lingard and Martial. That for me... we'll talk about Sanchez in a minute, but I worry about that front three because of the midfield three. Fred plays tonight, but you've still got Fellaini and Matic there, and I always feel sorry for our front three when I see Matic and Fellaini or Matic and McTominay in the midfield, because there's just no speed of ball movement.
No, there isn't. That's it. You need to switch between defence and attack quite quickly, and it doesn't work at the minute. I'm pleased to see Lingard in the team, and I'm pleased to see Rashford. Martial needs to massively improve on the weekend, but I'm sure he will. I don't know what's going on with Sanchez. Is he injured?
Well, Elvis has just said, not the real Elvis. Elvis has just said, "Where is Sanchez?" He may well be with Elvis. I don't know. Herrera, Dalot. I expected Dalot to play tonight. I really did. I thought Dalot was going to play tonight. He played in the away leg, so surely he can play the home leg. As I said today, I'm fed up of it. Everyone knows I'm fed up of Mourinho, but I'm fed up of Mourinho's excuses when, I need a centre-back, I need a centre-back. We spent 70 million on Fred and Dalot. And all right, Fred's playing tonight, but he doesn't play a lot. And you never played a lot. So that's 70 million you could have bought on a centre-back. So he's such a hypocrite. But no, I've got no idea where Sanchez and Herrera are tonight. I mean, McTominay and Pereira are on the bench. So, I don't know. I would have thought tonight was the perfect game to give Sanchez a bit of time. Because, again, at the game on Saturday, he was getting groaned at a lot. But I felt sorry for him after the game because he came on with, 20 minutes to go. His touch wasn't right, but he just looked rusty. I mean, I think tonight would have been the perfect game for Sanchez because he always gives his all. And, are we giving up on him now? It just seems a bit weird.
He's just another top player that United have signed and criminally mismanaged. And Jose's done that with a lot of players. I can't name a player that Jose's improved, to be honest. I've been clinging on to hope that he's going to turn this around. I think the weekend was a turning point for me. Sanchez, I agree with you. I did feel a bit sorry for him. Yeah, he was off the pace. Who's not going to be when you don't get played a lot? But everything went through him when he come on, and he was determined to drag us back into this game. And he was determined to do it the right way. If we managed him well, along with a lot of other players, we don't have a bad squad. I think that is a myth. We've just got a manager that doesn't know how to use it. And it's sickening when you see players in our youth team smashing it week in, week out, knowing that they haven't got a chance of breaking into this team. And that's what I would do on the back. If I seriously felt I was a manager and I felt my players had let me down that weekend, I'd just bring some of the youth players through and just to show them what we have. But they know. Them players know. Matic knows if he plays shocking tonight, he's playing on the weekend. How does that work? How can you get the best out of players when you know that you're going to play regardless of your form? It's pathetic.
Well, Mason Greenwood, he's only just turned 17 years of age, just at the start of October. I think he's got 17 goals in 15 games this season. He was smacking goals in last season. He was on the US tour. He didn't look out of place when he was given a bit of time. You'll get Mourinho sympathists saying, well, he's only just turned 17, you can't play him. The guy is a revelation in the youth setup at the moment, and he's a centre-forward. Look through history. The two type of players that get to play when they're like 16, 17, 18 are always wingers and strikers because your physicality isn't that important. United have got a history of doing it. We've played people at 17. We've played people at 16. And, Rooney played at 16 for Everton, didn't he? But tonight would be a perfect opportunity just to give him 20 minutes. It's not about having to play him in the big Premier League games. It's not about having to play him in the Premier League. It's just like, give him 20 minutes. Reward him for what he's been doing in the youth setup. Don't have to play him again for the rest of the season, but just give him something. And Mourinho just won't do it. Every single game he's got to try and win it because he knows he's going to lose a lot of points against better teams. So he always picks a stronger team against this. Robert Moore says, not impressed with this lineup. Does he want the sack? I do think we'll have enough tonight, Ross. I do think we'll have enough.
Yeah, unfortunately. That sounds really awful, but I just want this pain to be over and done with.
There's a lot of people feeling like that now.
Starting to get a bit ridiculous. And look, there's a lot of City fans that have been tweeting saying, how dare United fans moan? Well, I think we've got a right to moan because we're the biggest club in the world. We're not some crap Division 2 team. And we expect and deserve better. I still think we're the best fan base in the world. We're going through a tough time. We're still here. We just need some changes. But there's a lot of United fans saying it. I think you said it. It's more than a managerial change for me. It's personnel through the club, and it's also in the board of directors as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just talking about that, he's not starting tonight, but some very interesting comments from Romelu Lukaku that I know a lot of you coming in from work or getting up, depending where you are in the country. Football Land says, what's the lineup? It is actually on my right-hand side. That is the actual team. So, De Gea... no, it's not. Sorry, that is not the team. So, there you go. My mistake there. Let me just get this right. What was I going to say about Romelu Lukaku? That is the team on there for you. So, De Gea, Valencia, Smalling, Jones, Shaw, Matic, Fred, Fellaini, Lingard, Rashford, Martial. That's your starting lineup for tonight. But why is Baye not playing? We'll come back to that in a minute. I just want to talk about Lukaku, though, because a lot of you may not be aware. He basically admitted, I am one of Mourinho's favourites because he knows I will run through brick walls for him. What was your reaction to that one, Ross?
Pathetic, again. And I think it's mentality like that. And it's that mentality that gets installed into the players, like I just said earlier, that makes them go overweight a little bit. He must be so happy and comfortable knowing he's going to play week in, week out. Granted, he's been dropped a little bit as of recently, but that's only because the fans are just fed up with him. And I think if we carried on playing, it'd start to borderline on hate. You know, he's overweight. He can turn this around. He ain't going to turn it around if he thinks the manager's going to play him week in, week out, because he'll run through brick walls for him. It's pathetic. It's sizist as well, because I remember Jose commenting in his first press conference after signing Sanchez that he was surprised by how small he was. And when he said that comment, I thought the writing's on the wall with this player already. Sanchez massively improved our team as a centre forward. And I like Sanchez, Rashford, Martial. I think that's a front line that will put fear into any defence. Centre-backs must be absolutely wetting themselves when they see Lukaku. And the fact that a Liverpool reject basically dominated Lukaku for 90 minutes on the weekend, it's just an absolute embarrassment to the player, to be honest.
He did also mention the weight thing. He was asked about his weight and he said it's absolute nonsense. I'm one of the strongest players in the league.
Well, you can be strong, mate, but you can't run more than 5 yards.
Yeah, it's a non-answer for me. It's a non-answer. It doesn't answer the question of, you know, what do you say about people who say you put on too much weight effectively? It's a nonsense. I'm one of the strongest in the league. Well, yeah, but you're half as fast as you used to be. You know. And then he also, the other one he was asked, what was he also asked? He was asked about his first touch. He says, I'm improving every day. Well, you didn't improve on Saturday, mate. You know, okay, that video, we knew it would. We were sat there and we went, that is going to go onto memes, that first touch. And lo and behold, it did. He's a bit of a joker. But would you rather have Rooney or Fellaini in your midfield right now? Also, don't forget your buy me a round trip to game if we make it to the Champions League final, says Howard Walters. Well, we ain't going to make it to the Champions League final, so what are you going to buy me back? But yeah, I mean, I did say that as well, Ross, the centre-back situation. I mean, I was just, when you were talking there, I was just having a look at the lineup in front of me, and I thought, you know what? We will win tonight. I believe we will win. That's my opinion. I can't give you the lottery numbers, so it doesn't mean we will win, but I think we will. But if we do win, I suppose the problem is with Mourinho is that you look at that team, and yet again, no fan would pick that team. And this is the problem, isn't it? It's bringing Jones in when Eric Bay's available. It's playing Matic and Fellaini when you could be playing Fred Herrera or Pogba Fred Herrera. You know, it is. And you know what? I do like Lingard, but I probably would have played Sanchez today. So again, it's just another example of he's picking the wrong teams.
Yeah, that's exactly it. He's picking the wrong teams, the wrong players. I really do like that comment about Fellaini or Rooney, because I've got a theory behind United, and it's that our fitness coaches are just crap and all of our team are unfit. And I know Rooney's gone to another league, so he's instantly going to look better. But Rooney looks the fittest that I've seen him look in about 5 years. And that's no coincidence, that. And he's playing in a pub league. I think that there's some serious issues around the training team. I think you tweeted out the roof barrier's gone. Don't think that's helped, to be honest, because he seems to be the guy that behind Mourinho's magic. There's something not right. The players are so unfit compared to Crystal Palace. And I think I noticed it on the weekend as well. We're always the last out to train on the pitch and first in the dressing room. They literally warm up for about 10 minutes pre-match, when most other teams are out there for an hour. It's just not right. For a team that's run the least amount of distance in the league, you think they'll try and improve it. Each game they look to try and move less and less and less. It's not right. Something's not right there.
I'm just actually watching a bit of analysis of United from the Saturday game, and how deep we drop off our back four. No one goes and presses the ball, and we know we don't press the ball from the front, but it's the amount of time we let the opposition have the ball. It makes you want to cry. It really does make you want to cry. The tactics he gives this team, and then he goes into press conference and says, I don't want my team to play slow and stand off. Well, you clearly do. You're like, these players are not going to do it of their own accord. You know, you can see it from 1 to 11. Everybody drops back. So if he was telling 1 to 11 to push forward, you'd have at least 4 or 5 of those players actually doing what the manager wants. What are we to believe? That every player goes out on the pitch and says, let's do the opposite? You know, it's a nonsense. He's an absolute bullshitter, this manager. And that's what annoys me the most about him. But what you were saying there, I mean, look, the reality is, I think that the way we're playing is obviously a big problem. But I do expect us to pull something out today, because I don't think this opposition are very good at all. But I do agree with what a lot of people are saying and what you're saying as well. It's the wrong team. It's always the wrong team that he picks, and we probably will get away with it tonight. But when we go to Anfield or when we play Arsenal next week, he's going to pick the wrong team, and then that's when it becomes a problem. Everybody should walk out at half time, says Adam Forrester. Well, look, you know what, Ross? Let's hold our hands up. There was booing at the game on Saturday, but neither of us booed, did we?
I was booing inside, mate.
Yeah. I definitely was as well. But you know what? A lot of people said, I tweeted it today, there was a lot of booing. There was loads of people who left. And you know what surprised me? It was people leaving with like 10 minutes to go. Because there's always a 4 or 5 minutes added time. So that's 15 minutes at 0-0. And they had no faith that United were going to get a goal, which surprised me. And there was a lot of booing afterwards as well.
Yeah, again, I'll go back to that. A lot of our rival fans saying, what are you moaning about? Everyone goes through patches like this. Everyone goes through patches of having a crap team. I'm not going to lie about that. But it's the lack of effort. Because even the Crystal Palaces, any of them sort of mid-table relegation teams, they're giving it 100% and going down just because they're crap. Crystal Palace, you said it so many times on Saturday, they're crap. They were shocking to watch. But you could see energy, desire, heart, pressing. They give all of that, and their fans, they walked off a 0-0 at United, and their fans couldn't have been more proud of that team. And I would have been a proud Palace fan, to be honest. United fans, looking at what we were watching, was just no effort, no tactics, no consistency. And that's what's getting our back up, and that's what's not good enough. The players need to buck up, but I just don't think they have the fitness levels in them. That's my new theory that I'm running with.
I do think, and I know it's a cliche because a lot of new managers come in and say that, but I do think you would get, when a new manager comes in, would say this is the most unfit squad I've ever played with. I mean, how can we be fit? We stand off. We're always near the bottom of the league for distance covered. We must be massively, massively unfit as a squad. Nathan Brown says proof that Fellaini will never be plan B. Banter. Well, I did say that in the summer. I was absolutely gutted when he signed that new contract, and I had so many people saying, chill out. He's just going to be a last 10-minute plan B option. I don't know why people thought that. He will always be a starter for Mourinho. He absolutely bloody loves him. But I want to talk about Phil Jones. Rojo's injured, Lindelof is injured. Smalling's playing every game. Again, like Matic, it would have been a great opportunity to rest Smalling tonight. He still doesn't do it, and then he plays Jones with him as well. No place for Eric Bailly yet again. I think that, again, is just... It's a madness that Phil Jones, a player who has not managed to play half a season in the last 5, still keeps getting first choice opportunities. I don't really see the point, because we know even if he was really good, he will get injured. So I just don't get. Maybe there is sabotage in Mourinho's mind. I just don't know anymore.
Yeah, look, I think they're both the same, Bailly and Jones. I think they're both not good enough. That's my opinion. I know Bailly's got a lot of fans, but I'm not one of them. Again, if I was Jose, I'd be on the phone to Twanzebe's agent saying get him back, because he's probably our best centre back at the minute. Playing for another team.
Would you pick Jones over Bailly then? Do you just like him that much?
I probably wouldn't. No, I'd probably play Bailly in this game, but I just don't really. If it goes the other way, I'm not too fussed. I'm just worried about whoever it is. Maybe Smalling doesn't like playing with Bailly. You don't know what goes on behind the scenes.
Smalling and Bailly don't work together. You're right there. That's why I would have arrested Smalling tonight. They don't work together, to be fair.
Nah. Smalling, new contract, probably deserved, but that's where we're at now. I think I said to you on the weekend, Smalling's 6 months away from testimonial at Man United. I mean, how's he managed that?
It's terrifying.
Stealing a living.
Stephen Willocks has made a contribution. Thank you, Stephen. He says, what even is that team? I'm done with this idiot. And Ollie Price says, today was a perfect opportunity to trial Andreas as a centre midfielder and Ander at centre defensive midfield just to see if it would work. Why the slow midfield again? It doesn't work. I think that's a great point, not just because you made a contribution, Ollie, but I do think it's a great point, Ross. It's that these games, the Carabao Cup games, the FA Cup games against nobodies, and Man United Boy 13 says, where the hell is Delort? What a joke this is. I agree with a lot of that. It's like Mourinho never takes these opportunities to actually try something new. What are we going to see again tonight? We're going to see the same Matic, Fellaini, and even if they had man of the match performances, we already know they're not good enough to win as a title. In fact, many people would say Matic and Fellaini, even if they played their best game every game, they wouldn't get us top four either. So, again, I've said this so many times, I fail to see how, and I include Gary Neville and Ryan Giggs in this, how anybody who's Mourinho in can do it with a straight face. I just cannot see it. I can't see it because he just doesn't pick the right team. And he's never going to pick the right team because he never experiments to change things in these sort of games.
Yeah, I'm not up his arse just because he's a United fan. I've backed him for years. But if this was me as a manager, I'd give the chance to Pereira to play on the wing where he's supposed to play. Because every time you watch United, you can't take set pieces. We've got no natural crosses of the ball unless they're failed wing backs. Pereira looks like he can actually put a set piece in. Dead balls, he's leafleting around the box. That's where he plays. That's what he's always been, a winger. Jose's, I'll turn him into a centre mid because I'm a genius. All right, Pereira probably plays all right there, but that's not his position. The only sort of good things I've seen Jose do to a player is promote centre midfielders to centre backs. That's not great footballing, tactical knowledge. He's putting his big players at the back. It's it has gone beyond, and I agree with that comment. Team's a joke. Should have made some risks today.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I know you need to get off, Ross, so I'll give you a few minutes back. But I really appreciate you coming on, pal, and really appreciate your points as per usual.
Cheers, mate. I'll speak to you soon.
All right, pal. You can follow Ross on Twitter at Hazza90, which is at HAZZA90. Really appreciate that. I'm going to take some of your live comments. Marcus will be joining me for the watch along as well. I'll tell you what, though, I will say is that I was speaking to Flex. Flex has obviously gone up to the match tonight. He did say, do I want to go? Because obviously I was there on Saturday and I was there at the Wolves game, and I said you couldn't pay me to go tonight. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people will say, well, that's bloody ridiculous. That's not supporting your club. But I don't want to go tonight. I don't want to go to Old Trafford tonight. I think it's a bloody waste of my time to go tonight. And there's a lot of hardcore United fans who are not going tonight. And to me, people will say, well, that's not supporting your club. Support your club, win, lose or draw. Who said anything about support? I support Manchester United no matter what. We can get relegated to the Vauxhall Conference and I'll still support Manchester United. But I ain't wasting, 5 hours of my day travelling up and down there and then 2 hours to sit and watch that. Maybe it will be a great game and those people who've gone there will get rewarded. But I actually think the people who aren't going tonight are voting with their feet. The club won't notice it, of course they won't. But I ain't got a problem with people not wanting to watch United at the moment because it's a personal choice. There's no such thing as a super fan. There's no such thing as a written top red book of what you do and you don't do. It's up to you what you decide to do. But Flex was going up there tonight, from London. And he was like, I've had a crap day at work and I'm out late. The traffic's bad. It's pissing it down with rain. And I'm just not feeling it today. And obviously he's gone because that's what he does. Supports United, wants to speak to fans outside the ground. For you lot, that's what the United stand's all about. So make sure you always do watch the fan cams because, Flex has had to go from London today to watch that. But I think there's a lot of United fans feeling like that today. But I always felt about the game today, obviously I was going to watch it. I don't miss United play. I watch the pre-seasons. I get up in the morning early in the morning like you lot do if we're on. But I thought today... My thing about the game today was, if we win 6-0, it doesn't change how I feel. Southampton's a big game for us. But actually, with that team tonight, I'm maybe not as confident as I was. I do think we will win, but that team worries me a little bit. But I still think you've got internationals in that team, then we should have enough. The Mert says, what's up, mate? Jose knows he can't lose. Prove we are parking the buses. Fellaini starting. Guys up from... front won't get the ball. That is my fear, the Mertz. Thanks for the contribution. And Yashes Makovsky says, sum this up. Lob the ball and get it to the troll. It's a weird team. It's a weird team if you can see it on my right. So you've got De Gea, Valencia, Smalling, Jones and Shaw, which means that Valencia and Shaw will get forward. You've then got a midfield that's static and slow with Matic and Fellaini and Fred. So I think Fellaini will bomb forward to support Rashford and Martial and Lingard. But we haven't really got anybody to whip across in. It's a weird team. I would have thought I'm surprised he hasn't picked Lukaku. And I'm glad he hasn't, but I'm surprised he hasn't. Jose's idea of playing attacking football is long ball, says PXA. Prediction for the scores, says Mafaraz. We'll get every... Oh, look, I always ask you for yours. I always ask you for your team score predictions. So do give us yours. But my thought is I'm going to go 2-0 United. I was going as high as 3 or 4-0. But I'm going to go 2-0 to United. I mean, this young boys team is not very good. It's not very good. He can pick any team he wants today. We've become a joke. Why isn't Bay playing, says Red Koala Army. Dennis Williams says we'll get beat tonight, hopefully. I'll tell you what, I would normally jump all over that comment, but you're not the first, and you're certainly not in the minority. I've heard a lot of United fans, not specifically about tonight, saying, well, you know, if we lose against Southampton at the weekend, we're not getting top 4 anyway. At least he'll get the sack. There's a lot of people thinking that now. A lot of people thinking that again now. And I was thinking about this. This kit, this Manchester United home kit, is going to go down as probably one of the shittest seasons we've had ever. Because we ain't going to get top 4 and we ain't going to win anything. Fuzzy Bear says 2-0 at best, 1-0 realistically. We might get a few goals tonight. I really don't think it matters tonight. Unless we lose, I don't think the score really matters because they are a bad side and we should beat them. It's as simple as that. Jack Coleman says Mourinho is setting Fred up to fail with the 2 trees in midfield beside him. It's a weird thing to do. Set up a player to fail because he's your signing, Jose. But I do think he might be setting Rashford and Martial up to fail a little bit because it's very hard to play in a front 3 when you've got slow, static midfielders because you get slow ball. The clue is in the title there. Slow, tall players deliver slow ball. So, Colin Morgan says Jose's finished at United. So wrong wanting United to lose, but I'll be for the best if Jose gets sacked, says Breach. Martial hat-trick is the only thing that could cheer me up today, Don. Yeah, you know what? I'm actually glad Lukaku's not playing today. I'm sure he'll come on, but I'm actually glad he's not coming on because I don't have to, when he scores a couple of goals off his arse, we don't have to be like calling him the best player in the world again. But if Martial scores, we will. That's how it goes. You earn it. Definitely setting Martial up to fail, says Kratos88. I mean, to be honest, I'm actually pleased that Martial's starting because I did think that he played very badly on Saturday and I thought that would be the excuse that Mourinho would use to drop him. But obviously, the contradiction's great, isn't it? We had 8 months where Martial couldn't get a look in because Mourinho was up Sanchez's arse. Sanchez gets injured. Martial comes in, scores a few goals, and now Sanchez can't even get on the bench because Mourinho appears to be up Martial's arse. It's weird. It's really weird. Mourinho's man management, you could write a book about. It is so complex. Or it's very simple. If you upset him, he's petulant and he'll kick you out of the team. And he only has a select few favourites. Please do drop a like on the video if you are watching, and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. We might hit 305,000 subscribers tonight, so bottom right hand corner, subscribe to the channel. What have we got for you tonight? So we've got the watch along. We will be live obviously all the way through till final whistle, watching the game with you lot and interacting as per usual. Then you'll have my match reaction straight after the game. Then we're going to have a bit of a Discord call in, take some of your calls, and then by the time that's finished, we should be getting the fan cams in as well. So lots and lots on the United stand tonight, so make sure you get involved, subscribe, and remember, live at 8 o'clock every single night. And I think tomorrow at 1 o'clock we've got a transfer show for you, so loads going on the United stand. Get involved, and everybody who has been involved will tell you it will change your life, because you'll become part of a community that you're absolutely going to love. We had the call in last night through Discord as well, so loads going on. Do you think Shaw's comments are real or publicity stunts, as Marvin Best? Luke Shaw's just been given a massive new contract. We've overpaid for Luke Shaw. He's not worth that wage. I like Luke Shaw, but he's basically had a couple of months of good football and we've given him a massive wage because if we didn't give him that wage, he had us over a barrel. He was out of contract in the summer. So Luke Shaw's not going to say anything negative about Manchester United when, he's, rebuilt his career. Moab says, why does Neville still lick Jose's bum? Well, I presume you're talking about Gary Neville. We've got a lot of time for. I think he's a very, very, very good pundit. But Gary Neville, in the past, there are things about his opinion that a lot of United fans don't relate to. But it's opinion, isn't it? And when I say that, he'll say to this day that we shouldn't have sacked David Moyes, when obviously it was the best thing we could do. He was an atrocious manager, but Gary Neville felt he should have been given more time. And I think that's Gary Neville, isn't it? I mean, he was a victim of that at Valencia. I think Gary Neville is of a mindset that a manager should be given more time. And I think that's why he's backing Mourinho. It's his opinion and he's been consistent with that. So you can't knock it. You can disagree with it, but you can't knock it. As for Ryan Giggs backing Mourinho, I thought about that a little bit more. And actually, I think Ryan Giggs isn't like Paul Scholes or Rio Ferdinand, who are just pundits being paid to give opinion. Ryan Giggs is a manager of Wales. And being a manager of a club, you're almost in the managers' union. He needs to have good relationships with fellow managers. So I think he's backing a fellow manager, isn't he? Sam Aimson says, I'm not 100% about upcoming games. Not accepting that we're a small club because we aren't. I just have no faith in Mourinho to make the right choice. I agree with you, Sam. I'm not going to slate and say we're going to lose because I think we will win. But again, I just think the team's the wrong team. The team is the wrong team. I'm just looking on the pitch now. If I see Phil Jones in pink boots, again, I'm going to absolutely cry. But the team's the wrong team. The midfield is where you win and lose games. And that midfield is crap. The centre-back pairing is crap. The front three I like, but I don't know. I'll be totally honest with you. I've been following football since I can remember, for as long as I can remember, and I do hold up footballers as role models because that's what I had when I was growing up. But to be honest with you, some of these modern footballers, I will put my hand on my heart and say, they're clueless. They're absolutely out of the loop. I've met a lot of them in previous jobs I've done, and they're out of the loop. They live in a bubble. And they live in a bubble from a very young age because they're in youth setups from like early teens, sometimes even before that. So they've got no concept of real life at all. They get massive money, and their loyalties are pretty paper thin, really. And, it's questionable how much they actually do give a shit about the club they play for anyway, because their lives are so millionaire row that, do you actually really care if you lose a game of football because your life's all right? I was talking to Drawty about this today. Football in general is a very weird thing, and that's why being a football manager now is a massive job, because you've got to motivate millionaires, people who've got more money than you, who are set for life no matter what, and motivation may be a bit of an issue for them. That's why you've got to get the right mentality, you've got to get the players, and you've got to be able to deal with a multitude of attitudes and motivate those players. Now, Mourinho only deals well with players that are Mourinho's an identikit manager. He likes a checkbook, and he likes players who run through brick walls. Fellaini, Lukaku, Matic. I could be really horrible and say it's a lazy type of management, because if you look at what Klopp does, what Pep does, what Poch does, they'll have a multitude of attitudes in that squad. They will have some players that will run through brick walls, but they'll have flair players, they'll have arm around the shoulder players, they'll have players who need to kick up the arse. They'll have all sorts of players, but they're managers, and they will get the best out of all those. Mourinho really doesn't like any other player type other than run through brick walls, and it's very, if you've got a team wherever you are, McDonald's, HSBC, wherever you work, and you're a manager and you've got a team below you that will run through brick walls for you, it's very easy to manage that sort of person, because no questions asked, they'll just run through brick walls for you. But that's not real life, is it? That's not how it works. And we've got a manager who, in my opinion, is very, very lazy, because he can't get the best out of his players. And actually, the most worrying thing about that is these players that run through bricks walls for him, they're probably our worst players at the moment. Like Lukaku, Matic, Fellaini's been okay this season, but he shouldn't be near a United shirt. These are his favourite. Valencia. These run through brick wall players are not performing. Matic, Valencia, Lukaku. they're not performing well. So and that's why it's going wrong, isn't it? Matic is absolutely crap player. How Chelsea mugged us off with that deal. They got Jorginho. Now we have a 10-foot Serbian, says Raja Javid. Yeah, it's not totally true though, is it? They did buy Bakayoko, who was crap, to be fair. But they've Chelsea rectify mistakes. Like Chelsea were linked to Pulisic. 70 million deal, Pulisic. Manchester United fan, young player, should be coming to our club. You know what will happen? They'll sign Pulisic and Mourinho will be like, I'll have Willian for 40 million. He'll be 31 next summer. That's what will happen to us. But I never wanted Matic. The videos are there. I got apparently I had to take L's because Matic was a good signing. And I said, I don't want Matic. I would have took Fabinho. I know he's not been playing for Liverpool much, but I never wanted Matic. He's a slow player is a slow player. And in the modern game, slow players in your midfield ruin you. The midfield is where games are won and lost. The midfield is the engine room. It provides the ball to the attackers. It protects the back four. It's the focal point of any team. And our midfield is crap. It really is absolutely atrocious because it is slow and static. And he picks Matic every single game. Adil says we should have bought Barkley. I don't know whether he's exactly what we want, but there you go. I can't be arsed. I'm just going to watch Spurs versus Inter, says Sakura Ahmad. You'll be waiting 24 hours, mate, because that's tomorrow night. I'd rather have Brendan Rodgers than Jose Mourinho at the moment, says George Monkey Jojo. I mean, my initial reaction to that is please God no, but actually he probably would do a better job. Busquets is a slow player, says Davian Francis. You're being too literal, mate. You're not listening, are you? You obviously don't watch this show very much. I'm not actually talking in the literal sense of slow. I mean, Matic is a slow player, but the most important thing is his movement of the ball is crap slow. He takes more touches than anybody. Normally takes 3 or 4 touches when one will do. His passing is slow. Busquets isn't a slow player at all. He might be pace slow, but he's not slow in relation to how he gets the ball and moves it around. Michael Carrick was a slow player in relation to pace, but the way he moved the ball was brilliant. The Huss says, let's not overlook the fact that Lingard is nowhere near good enough to start for United. You know what? Lingard on Saturday was probably our best player, and he was playing in a midfield position where he plays for England. I personally would have always thought that if Lingard is going to play for United, he should be coming off the bench. But I've also said that I would play him on the right wing, which is where he's going to play tonight. But he looks like he looked very good in the midfield on Saturday, and he subbed him. I don't know. His substitutions were a bit weird at the weekend, to be honest with you. The Mert says we have to remember right now we aren't exactly a destination club because of what Jose has done. You're right, and a lot of you predicted that, and you've been saying it for a long time. Do you think Jose can make an impact tonight, says Man United fan Stand? I think we'll win tonight. I actually think that if we do win tonight, it's almost irrelevant because it's young boys. And if I was comparing young boys to a team in England, you're probably looking around the standard of a Barnsley, or maybe, a lower championship side. Of course, they should be beaten at Old Trafford, but Crystal Palace should have been beaten. So you never know. It might not go the way that I think it's going to go. What I would say is, Crystal Palace got a very good result against us at the weekend. They're not a good team. I got into an argument outside Hotel Football with some Crystal Palace fans who I actually thought were United fans. I thought they were one of these bloody idiots who, just have an issue, but they were Palace fans, and they were like, where's your 2-0 now, Goldbridge, where's your 2-0 now, because that was my prediction. And I said, jog on with your point, because you're going down. They're crap. They're absolutely crap, Crystal Palace. Most teams will beat them, but we couldn't. I love the forwards we selected tonight, says Christoph. That is the point. That is the positive, and I'm glad there is at least some positive, because I am looking forward to watching the front three tonight. We might literally be watching them because they might not get much ball. I mean, I really hope Fred has a good game as well. I'm a big fan of Fred. He did very well in the Champions League for Shakhtar Donetsk, so there's no reason he shouldn't do well tonight. But I like Rashford, I like Martial, and I liked what I saw from Lingard on the weekend. And I've never been Lingard's biggest fan. I personally think he's a squad player. But he impressed me on Saturday, and you know what? I'm going to give him a benefit of the doubt. So I'm looking forward to seeing Lingard, Fred, Martial and Rashford tonight. Nice to have Luke Shaw back. But then the rest of the team, Valencia, Jones, Smalling, Matic, Fellaini, I really couldn't give two hoots about. They're not good enough, are they? They're just not good enough for Manchester United. I would not have Steven Gerrard near the club, Rashid. I know it's bad under Mourinho, but it ain't that bad. And, you can't do that. It'd be like asking Liverpool to have Gary Neville as their manager if he was doing well. It's not. You just there's some things you don't do. Football's more important. You can't ignore rivalry. It's what makes the game. Ollie Price, hi Mark. Would love to chat on the Discord live show tonight. I feel I have a few things to say. I have a different view about the Jose in or out. Okay, Ollie, more than welcome. Let me know your name on Discord and we'll get you on later on. We will have a call in after the show for you lot because obviously there's a lot of opinions going on at the moment. And I think it'll be an interesting call in tonight because I do think that whatever the result, I don't think the Mourinho stance will change. I think if we win, what does it change? Obviously, if we draw or lose, it might make people even more frustrated. But yes, we'll be doing that for you. Playing two DMs against young boys, how defensive can you get, says Aditya? Well, I'll defend Mourinho there, pardon the pun. I don't actually think you'll see Fellaini playing as a CDM. I think Fellaini will be pushing forward a lot. I think you'll see him bombing forward. I think Fellaini's actually playing the Pogba's position today, which is why Pogba's not playing. And Pogba in the midfield obviously bombs forward a lot. So I think that's... Remember Mourinho's words. Fellaini is my Pogba replacement. So there you go. Does Brexit remind you of Mourinho in fans, says Mike Johnson? So I think I might have said something similar in the past. The only thing we can hope for is that Matic and Fellaini get injured. I don't agree with that. I don't wish injury on players. Perfect game for Bay to get confidence back. Yeah, Glenn Oakley, but he won't be getting any. It's the perfect game for Sanchez to get his confidence back. It's the perfect game to give Pereira some game time. It's the perfect game to give Dalot some game time. But yet again, we get to see the same players playing every single game. And what happens? They just become more and more tired and then they'll get injured. Smalling's going to get injured. Matic is going to get injured. You can see it coming a mile off. I think Fellaini will hold Jones' hand and Matic might as well be 10 men, says Screamer 1996. But you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if Fellaini and Matic had a good game tonight. Why shouldn't they? They are playing against a pub team from a pub league, and they are internationals who play for Belgium and Serbia. So I don't think Mourinho's a stupid man. I think Mourinho knows that United fans don't like Matic, that they don't like Fellaini. So he plays them in a game like this where he knows that they can probably put in a good performance. He can then come out after the game in the press conference and say Matic and Fellaini were great tonight. That plants a seed in some fans' heads and it resets the clock and they get another 5 or 6 games to be crap before people start questioning him again. That's what Mourinho does. He's a master manipulator. But people are starting to see through it. We've got the Chuckle Brothers back, says the Red Bearded Red. Rest in peace to the Chuckle Brothers. One of the original Chuckle Brothers were brilliant. The football equivalent of Jones and Smalling are terrifying, absolutely terrifying. Win, lose or draw, Jose will praise Jones, Matic and Fellaini, says Sonu. Yeah, he could do his post-match press conference now. He really could. We're going to get overrun in the midfield, says Blade X. I hope we do. I hope we do get run over in the midfield. I really hope we do. I hope they are a better footballing side than us because I want to win, but I'd like us to win in another shit way because the more teams that come to Old Trafford and play us off the park, the better, because this manager is not the right man. Lukaku needs Weight Watchers, says Reece White. I don't know whether it is weight or muscle, though. I think he's bulked up. I think it's muscle. If we win and Valencia lose, we are through, says Christoph. Yes. And you know what? That's a good point from Christoph. If we were to win, if we were to qualify tonight, which I think we will do, I think that's Mourinho in a job till February. And if he's in a job till February, I think he's in a job till May because we've got people in charge of our club who are not football people. And I think they will look at it and go, well, yeah, we're not doing well in the league, but we're still in the Champions League. They've done it before with David Moyes. They don't realise that the chances of winning the Champions League with this team are nil. And it's all about where we finish in the league. But because we're in the Champions League, they will think it's fine. They will. We got Mad Marcus into house. Can you hear me?
How are we doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. Our resident Mourinho inner. Make sure you to give him a load of abuse. He's contractually obliged to be here, but no, seriously, you are Mourinho out, aren't you?
Yes, most definitely. And I think that tonight's lineup has just reinforced that for me, to be honest.
You've always been a fan of Fellaini, no?
Not for a game like this, mate. Not for a game like this. Not when you've got Andreas on the bench, Pogba's on the bench, Fred's starting, which is a good sign. But I'll go back to Mourinho's press conference yesterday. He was spouting about wanting to be on the get-go from minute one. He wanted his midfield to be intensive, and that's the midfield he comes up with tonight.
I'll tell you what, just dropped into my head because I will forget this if I don't say it, is I'm just watching them training. I even think this when Pogba plays, when Lukaku plays, but there's no leaders in that team again. There is no leaders. It's just a bunch of individuals. There's no leadership in that team. So, and I think that's a very, very big thing. But also in relation to Fred, I think if Fred has a good game tonight, I'm going to give him man of the match because it's so hard for a flair midfielder, as Pogba sees week in, week out, to play with people like Matic and Fellaini, who are just not flair midfielders. So he's not going to get decent ball. He's not going to get quick ball. He's almost on a hide into nothing, I think. So if he has a good game, he gets man of the match for me.
Do you know what? I mean, I don't know what this guy is thinking. I'll go back to Saturday, Darmian at right back, and then tonight he's got Valencia when Valencia was available for Saturday and probably would have offered us a lot more down that right-hand side. Matic, Laurel and Hardy as centre-back. Again, Bay's fit. You would have thought Bay would come into this and, maybe Smalling and Bay would have been good as a centre-back partnership tonight. But obviously he's gone with Phil Jones, the calamity that he is. And we all know what them two are like when they're together. They always offer a chance to the opposition, no matter what the opposition is. So, Phil Jones has always got a penalty in him, to give the opposition a penalty. So I worry about that. Matic, Fellaini, too slow for me. This game is crying out for Pogba, Fred and Pereira in the midfield three. And I think the front three, he could have gone with Sanchez through the middle. He offers more than Lukaku. He could have gone Rashford right-hand side, Martial left and Sanchez through the middle. But Sanchez doesn't even make the bench tonight. So God only knows what's going on there.
Yeah, answers on a postcard, really. It's so...
the highest paid player not even making our bench for a Champions League game. It doesn't make sense at all. It doesn't make sense.
Look, I've played for football teams. I've watched a lot of football. I love football. It's not just about watching the game. I love the politics. I love the transfers. I love the interviews. And you know what? I think we all know you don't have to be a genius to figure out that Mourinho is so haphazard in what he's doing. There's massive issues in that dressing room. Massive. And it seems to go from one player to another. I mean, Valencia's playing tonight. Why couldn't he have played at the weekend? He's sidelined him for a few weeks when it was his captain. Now he's back as captain. Sanchez, he stood by him for 8 months and ignored Martial. Now he's ignoring Sanchez and playing Martial. Matic plays every week despite the fact that he's crap. Pereira can't get a look in. Herrera's not on the bench as well. Despite, I know Herrera had a bad game against Man City, but the week before he was brilliant. It just amazes me how he can be...
I'm just going to say, for me, the midfield three there, where is the creativity in that midfield three? I did a bit of research on the opposition this afternoon, and they've
been typing young boys in the computer, have you? Rumbled.
I did put BSC
Operation U-Tree
in before. But I did see that they've got a couple of centre-backs in there. I mean, all right, they're pushing on in terms of age, but they are over 6 foot. So I don't see Rashford getting on the end of any crosses tonight. But
I think Fellaini will play. A lot of people were saying we're playing two CDMs. I actually think we will see Fellaini getting in the box a lot because I think he's playing in the Pogba position, and I think we'll see a lot of ball lofted into the box.
Maybe, but then you're banking on one man, aren't you? Putting it away. You're banking on that one chance for him to get his head on the end of it and stick it in the net. And without that hairstyle of his anymore, our chances have decreased somewhat. But yeah, I mean, Sanchez is the myth. He could have gone. He does offer a lot more movement, I think, than what Lukaku does as a centre forward. Lukaku just seems very stale, very static in his movement. He's all right. He can go down the channels. I mean, I read a stat today against Crystal Palace. He had one shot against Palace. It wasn't on target, and he had 20 touches of the ball. That is dreadful. Absolutely dreadful for Manchester United, number 9. So Sanchez, for me, should have been starting this game with Rashford right, Martial left. And like I said, the midfield three is perfect opportunity. Pogba, Fred, Pereira. Energy, tenacity, creativity in that midfield. And he was talking in his press conference about being intensive from the get-go, and that's the lineup we get. And that to me just screams slow, lethargic, idle, not got a clue, sideways, backwards passing.
What's your score prediction for the game?
Well, do you know, I was going to go, I was like a lot of people in the comments are tonight. I was going to go 3-4-0, but I don't think so. I think it's going to be 2-1 United. I think we're just going to scrape this with Laurel and Hardy as the centre-backs. I think young boys will get a chance. They got a good result against Valencia at home. They got a draw against them 1-1. And they did have a couple of opportunities in the reverse fixture a month or two ago. So I think they'll score here tonight. I really do. But I think United should scrape it, which I think, as much as I hate to say it, I think them scraping a result against this opposition is an absolute joke. Absolute joke.
Biggie Third says Xavier was one of the slowest players that ever graced the game, but boy was he quick in thought. Mata can give us close to that with the right manager. Yeah, of course, I don't know whether Mata is on the bench tonight, actually. Thanks for the contribution. And Ditspiria stand together as one. We deserve better, but Jose just hides behind his boys who stand by his side. But what will happen if they're injured for a year? Yeah, well, people have already said that they'd like to see Matic getting injured. I don't agree with that, but, it's... We are where we are. We've got what we've got, and I think for me, it's just a question of how long we have to put up with it. But some people are happy to put up with it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. We could get up to 305,000 subscribers tonight. So if you are new to the United Stand, do subscribe. Loads of content going on. We'll have a match reaction as well. We've got a call in after the show. Then we've got the fan cams as well. Poor old Lex up there. Really didn't want to go tonight, and there's a lot of people who feel like that, but. It's all about your opinion, isn't it? I mean, I just, if we had a half-empty stadium, I think certain people would take notice. But it's a personal thing. Like I say, there was a lot of booing after the final whistle on Saturday. I personally didn't boo because I don't agree with it. I wouldn't even boo Fellaini, and people would be surprised like that. But I just don't believe in booing. But like Ross said, we were booing on the inside, but that there was definitely booing at Old Trafford on Saturday, which makes me laugh that apparently match-going fans are all behind Mourinho. Well, not from what I saw, but there you go. Maybe they had the day off. Matic needs a break, a proper break away from the team. The Premier League is far away from our club. That kind of break, says Mike D. I do think there is something in that, though. I do think that Matic has played a lot of football. He played in the World Cup, and he's come back and he's played every week. I don't understand why he hasn't given him a rest.
No, nor do I. I mean, what has this guy got to do to get dropped from this team? I honestly thought after Martial's performance Saturday, there was a risk of him being dropped tonight. Thankfully, he hasn't, because he's one of the most exciting players we have in the team. And like I say, I mean, Matic, what has he got to do? It's a similar situation with Fellaini going back a few months ago to last season. Fellaini could never get dropped. Fellaini was the answer to everything. And it seems this season, it's the same story with Matic. Exactly the same. I mean, what has Pereira got to do, or Herrera for that matter, to get into this side? Because those two can both play the CDM role quite well as well. They are capable of doing it if he would put his trust in them to do it. But Matic, I mean, the guy's legs has gone. It's clear. He hasn't got the energy to keep up with the Premier League no more, and he'd be much more suited somewhere out in Italy where the game is so much slower.
I agree. That's where he should have fucking gone. It's funny actually. No one's really spoken about Pogba not playing tonight, and that normally would have been absolutely massive news. I mean, Pogba not playing, Matic does play. I know Fred's playing, and some people might say, well, at least Pogba's not playing, so Fred can play. But actually, it could have played Matic, Fred, and Pogba, and start building the midfield that everybody wants to see playing. I mean, yet again, that's another thing. It's a failure, isn't it? This is an opportunity tonight to play the midfield that we thought Mourinho was going to play. The Matic, Pogba, Fred. Play it against the team that's not that good. Give it a chance to sort of get used to it. Doesn't do it.
No. I mean, there was so much opportunity for him tonight. Even Delo, Valencia got dropped because he liked that Instagram tweet about get Mourinho out. He got dropped. That was obvious. He got dropped for that. Darmian comes in at right back or the right winger on Saturday, and then tonight against weaker opposition, we think he's gone for Valencia. Now, surely the Premier League game on Saturday against Palace was much more important. Yeah, he was much more important to win that game to keep pace if Mourinho believes in being in the top 4 by January or by Christmas. So why is he wasting his time putting Valencia in the game tonight? Delo played really well in the reverse fixture. He was the only one that put decent balls into the box in the first 30 seconds, and you just think, what is his thinking behind this? Really, what is the thinking? Phil Jones, another example. I mean, the guy wakes up in the morning and he gets injured. Put Bailly in there. Why doesn't he trust these players that he's bought? I just don't get it, Mark. And if anyone in the comments can answer that, let me know, because I haven't got a clue.
Well, the thing is, Mourinho spoke about the apparently Paul Scholes has actually said that Jose Mourinho that Lukaku actually can't play football.
Good, but he's right.
He is right. But the thing I was going to say is that obviously Jose Mourinho spoke about effort and desire and drops Pogba. I mean, there's no illusions there, is there? I mean, we are not stupid as football fans, and I think we are there to believe that Pogba is the lazy one again. Which again, it's another top player we're going to lose because of this prick of a manager.
Well, a couple of people saying, don't run my blood pressure up. I'll try not to, Nigel.
I know, I'm the chilled out. I'm chilled out tonight. Marcus is the one who's going to blow his top, I think.
You know what? After the Watchalong Saturday, the last 10 minutes, right, I had the most sickenest feeling. I had butterflies in my stomach, hoping that we'd cling on to the 0-0. Because if Crystal Palace had scored against us in the last 10 minutes, it was absolutely gut-wrenching. But that would come down to the manager. And I'm getting sick of watching United, like many other fans, Manchester United fans across the world. I'm getting absolutely sick of being half hour before kickoff, feeling depressed, thinking, what are we going to see tonight? And then you look at that lineup and you think, same old fucking bullshit, isn't it? Look at it. That midfield's not intensive. That midfield is not quick. There's no creativity in that side whatsoever. You can even see who is going to be substituted during this game, to me, with that team. Fred is going to come off, Martial is going to come off, and barring an injury, Jones or Smalling will come off. Right? That's my predicted subs for the game, because what he'll do, with Martial will get dropped, Rashford will go on the left, Lukaku will go straight through the middle, Fred will come off, and he'll probably chuck in McTominay or Pogba in there. And then, Bailly would either come in for Jones or Smalling, because there's no way Valencia or Shaw's going to get subbed off. There's no way Matic or Fellaini will get subbed off. If Martial has a poor game, he's the poor sod that's going to take the flak for it. And yet he's the one that's kept him in the job for the last 2 months.
You remind me of me about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I think you're just a bit further behind. I'm in that acceptance stage. I think you're in that angry stage, and I think Mourinho people are in the denial stage. It's the seven stages of separation, isn't it? But Marcus is definitely there. And
sorry, but it's just how.
No, I agree. I like I say, I've been there. I think for me now, it's just. All I feel is I can't see Phil Jones's boots. I can't tell what colour they are. But I'm just for me, it's just when is he going to be sacked? That's it. I don't know that answer, and I wish I did, because it's got to happen. But let's see.
Surely it's just a matter of time. Surely it's a matter of time. I mean, speaking of matter, where the hell is he?
I don't think Matter's in the. I want to double check that actually. I don't think Matter's on the bench. I'm trying to. Bay's on the bench.
Yeah.
McTominay's on the bench. Pereira's on the bench.
We got McTominay on the bench instead of Matter. Which one serves?
Oh no, Matter is on the bench.
He is on there, is he?
So you got Lukaku, Pogba, Matter, McTominay, Pereira, Bay, Romero. It's no Sanchez, no Herrera, no Dalot. So
our two most creative players in Pogba and Matter are not even fit for their starting 11 against. I think these lads, they're from Switzerland, aren't they? This lot, Swiss, are they?
Yeah. BTEC French,
so, yeah. So there we go. You know what I mean? They're not even fit to walk out on the pitch against, these minnows, are they really?
I call the French League a pub league, by the way, and they are... this is a BTEC French League that we're playing tonight. They're absolute shit. They're rubbish. Absolute rubbish.
So, I'm going to be absolutely pig sick, and there'll be no stopping me, mate. If McTominay comes on tonight in any shape or form, I'm absolutely going to let rip. So just to prepare you, all right, because that is wrong. That is absolutely wrong. If he can bring on McTominay ahead of the likes of Pereira, who's a much better player, Pogba, who's a much better player, the guy's clueless. He's clueless as it is, but he'll just about flip my lid tonight if he does that.
Does seem to be quite a few empty seats. It doesn't look like it, but there is.
Yeah. This is what the guy is doing to our stadium. Look, not making our fans want to turn up and watch the football.
I don't know how they work the attendance out there, because obviously most of Old Trafford is season ticket holders, so they could just do the attendance based on season tickets. I don't think they do, so it'd be interesting to see what the actual attendance is. Empty patches all over Old Trafford. Says don't let me down. Bench midfield is better than the one on the pitch, says Biggie Third. So the bench midfield would be Pereira, McTominay and Pogba. So yeah, it is better, you're right. Or you could play Mata, Pogba and Pereira. Tito says that Matic and Fellaini shouldn't even be on the pitch. I do, people can say, Mark, you're very relaxed tonight, but I also know that this opposition are rubbish, and I know what Mourinho's doing. He's picking his type of players so that at the end of the game, when we win, he'll do a smug up yours in the way that he does to all his lot. He'll be like, my team performed tonight. But it's young boys, they're crap. This team would get annihilated by Liverpool or City or Spurs. You put this team out against them, we'd get absolutely battered. So I'm not falling for his trick. I think we will win. I think people are right to get very angry with his team selection, but he knows that we'll pull it off tonight. Anyway, we're about to kick off. There appears to be quite a lot of empty seats here tonight, but we'll keep you updated terrible if you can't watch it. I know in America that they're showing the Roma game instead of the United game. Somebody was saying, so not everybody able to watch it. But as soon as it kicks off, I will give you the timer, and we're up and running. Remember, subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner. Jesse Lingard to kick it off. And we are waiting on the ref.
Just seeing the players there a few minutes ago, just standing there with the anthem, like even the players look depressed. You can just tell in their faces. They just don't. They do not look happy. They do not look like they're enjoying their football. They just think to themselves, "Oh, there's another game. Let's just get it over with, and hopefully we come away with 3 points."
I just saw somebody in the live comments there sort of saying, for God's sake, he's clearly resting Pogba. No, I'm not having that, because who needs resting in our team more than anybody? Matic. Yeah. So why would you rest Pogba when he didn't go on international duty? That's a nonsense. He's not picking Pogba because he's dropped Pogba. Of course, he'll put it out there that it's not a dropping, but he clearly is. Anyway, United are on the attack at the moment.
Yep.
Briefly, and then it's cleared. I think don't expect much from young boys is what I would say. They're not a very good team. Remember, we comfortably beat them on their plastic pitch, so
Look at the. I mean, I can't get
He
over.
is. He's in some sort of white boots. They might be pink. They're pink.
I cannot get over
Matic and Fellaini and Phil Jones abusing pink boots again.
the amount of empty seats that's around this stadium for a Champions League night is bad. That's absolutely bad, and the board and Woodward should be taking note of this.
Fellaini's basically playing as I predicted, as a support striker to Rashford. It's a midfield two we're more or less playing.
Unbelievable. But again, the ball's not got on the ground at all. It's all hitting hope from United.
Well, there's Fred. I mean, there are some positives, United. Lingard, Fred, Rashford, Martial. I want to see them playing well. And Lingard's offside there. Ashley Wood says it's heartbreaking to see the amount of empty seats. You know, to be honest, we have played dead rubber games at Champions League before, and it's been quite quiet. It's not a new thing, but I think tonight a lot of it is to do with the problems at United.
Yeah, definitely. And, I think there's obviously more problems behind the scenes, I think, than we know about, which obviously don't help and just contribute more to the problems we're seeing out on the pitch. I mean, even seeing Mourinho on the touchline, like, arms, hands in his coat, doesn't look bothered, really.
Yeah, whack as your score predictions if you want, folks. Sims Vam says I'm going to go 0-0. I think United will win it because the quality gap is just massive.
I think one of the main things from United's point of view tonight is to get the fans up and something to cheer about, because seeing the camera go around the stadium, all I can see is their fans in the ground jumping up and down, waving their arms. They're really up for it.
Well, all we're doing here is just lofting balls into the box.
Yeah.
And I hate the cross as well. There's no pace on the cross. It's just a big hanging ball.
Yeah.
For Matic to do like a Wimbledon, or for people who don't remember Wimbledon, a Stoke City. It's lofted in there like a Rory Delap throw. For Fellaini to get a head on, then it might bounce for you. It's just, we don't even whip a cross in excitingly, so it's got power on it, and someone might blast the header into the top corner. It's just lofted up there like a boring porridge ball that it is.
And straight away, them lofted balls are bypassing Rashford straight away. There's no way that lad's going to get on the end of it.
Yeah, Shiver says I fancy Fellaini to score. I do as well. I think these are the sort of games that Fellaini can score in because they're banter teams. I mean, they can't even string a pass together here. Rashford should be in. Should be 1-0.
Could be.
Over the bar.
Good chance.
Good chance. Should have scored. Mourinho. Whoa, you can see Mourinho then. Bloody hell.
Makes a change. Actually see a bit of effort from Mourinho there on the
touchline. You see, to be honest though, you've got to be even-handed and say that he should score that, because Lukaku should score that. He'd get absolutely pelters.
Yeah. Yeah, good opportunity there for Rashford to settle the nerves down early, but unfortunately, over the bar. Nearly coming up to the 5 minutes.
But that's just an indication of what I've been saying as to how crap young boys are. I think some people are thinking we're going to lose to this side. They're crap. They're absolutely crap. It doesn't matter how crap we are. Most Premier League teams would stuff young boys, and I'm talking your West Hams and people like that. The gap is huge. So it's a good shot from Fred there, edge of the box. So at least we've had two good chances in the first 5 minutes. But this is a pub team, absolute pub team, and don't be deluded to think that we're playing great football. They're awful. They're absolutely awful. Yeah. If Mourinho can't be sacked, then he should resign and walk away. Thanks for the contribution, George Ramos, brother of Sergio. And what a shot by Fred. Says Forever Red Devils. This is what Fred's got in his locker. He's a flair midfielder, box to box.
But he needs the ball. He needs the ball from Matic and Fellaini. They've got to be able to pass that ball further than 5-10 yards. I mean, if Fred's the box-to-box midfielder that we hope he can be, he needs to get that ball into his feet really quickly.
Yeah, it should be 1-0 though. I will. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Lukaku at the moment, and I'm certainly not a big fan of the stuff he said about being Mourinho's favourite. But if that was Lukaku there and he'd missed that chance Rashford missed, he'd be being slaughtered, absolutely slaughtered. Yeah. And this is the thing about Rashford: he's got to score. He misses too many. His final ball is still a problem, but he's still very young. And I like Rashford, so I'm not going to give him a load of stick, but he should have scored that.
Yeah. Definitely, most definitely. I mean, there's only so many times you can say he's a young lad, he's still learning his trade, but he's been at United all his life, and he's been in the first team for a good amount of time now. He should be burying those chances. But again, I think, that chance for Fred came down that left-hand side with Martial. Martial looking really dangerous out there. But he's got to get the ball into his feet quick, so he can do the damage.
There's a definite skill gap between Young Boys and United, which is something we never normally witness. But you can see it in the fitness, the speed of movement. I mean, this is Premier League against Pub League, and you never know. We might see 3 or 4 goals tonight.
Hopefully. But the way we're playing, form suggests we're not going to see that. I think our biggest win so far this season was 3-0, I think, away to Young Boys, wasn't it? I think in all competitions. So
yeah, probably. Phil Jones just won a header.
Yeah. Well, so far, the centre-backs, our back line have not been tested at all. But I doubt we'll keep this up for the 90 minutes. We know we're a team of 2 halves.
Got a corner here, I think, to them. Yeah, I read Andrew Southwick's on about the cross from Fellaini there. And it's not his. He ain't got many strengths, has he? But crossing certainly is in the big list of shitness. Who's the pub team? Says Glenn. Young Boys. Look. They are. I mean, I know. I get accused of being blunt, but they are a pub team. Their league is atrocious.
Yeah.
And United should be winning this 4-5, 6-0 tonight. We're at Old Trafford. We should be absolutely battering them, no matter who we are. They haven't got the fit. I think Pogba did have a good game in Switzerland, and I think Pogba would have a good game tonight. But obviously he's not playing, is he? That's why I'm surprised Lukaku's not playing, because I thought Mourinho would think this is the perfect game for me to play him and get him a few goals.
Zotty Moon says the Young Boys aren't going to have enough. Hopefully not. But with Smalling and Jones as centre backs, you can never say never. They're always going to give something away. Just a question of whether they're clinical enough to take it.
Yeah, Lingard made a bit of a mistake there, and they had a breakaway, Young Boys. But even when they have a 2v2, you're like, they just haven't got the quality.
No.
I heard somebody saying it's there, and they're right. Mourinho's such a lucky manager because he has a bad result, and then the next game's always a gimme. And it's true. It's like, I wish tonight we were playing Juventus actually, because a proper test of a game.
It's interesting.
This isn't the sort of game. This is a bad game to have. Mourinho won't see it that way because it'll be like, yeah, I'm going to get a win. But this is not the game United need. After you've failed to score against a team like Crystal Palace, the last thing you want is to play against a pub team at home where you're going to score a few goals. And people will say, well, yeah, you get confidence. But what confidence do you get about playing a team that's not as good as most of the teams you're going to play? Like Southampton on Saturday. If we win that, I'll be impressed. It's going to be a tough game. I know Southampton aren't very good, but it's at their place and they're desperate for a win. I think if they lose it, Mark Hughes may even get the sack. So that's going to be a massive test for us.
The only person I'm seeing so far that's looking to pass that ball forward is Luke Shaw down the left back. He's making some good runs down there, and it's a shame he's not picking Martial out that often with the pass.
If you're a fan of these lot, imagine having to shout, "Come on, young boys," over and over again, says Wonton Soup. Well, they wouldn't shout that, would they? Because they're French speaking, or Swiss. I suppose it would be in that language, but maybe they're not... I don't know. The standard of football is good from United and atrocious by young boys. They're absolutely terrible. It's only a matter of time before we score.
And Kieran says, "Pass me the Prozac already." I know what you mean, man. I'm feeling it.
I actually think United have been quite entertaining, but that's because of the opposition that we're playing.
Yeah, you would expect this from United. You really would. Against this opposition, there would be no other way to play. But it's just,
there's absolutely no need to sit back and park the bus against a team like this, because they're rubbish. I don't know how. To be honest with you, it's been to our benefit, the lucky result that we got against Juventus, but I don't know how Valencia managed to draw.
No,
and that's why we're going through the group, really, because of a lucky win against Juventus, and it was a lucky win, and a weird result from Valencia drawing with this.
For as I think I might do, yeah.
Get on the whiskey.
Maybe at half time. Yeah, I might have one at half time.
So it's on BT Sports in the UK. A lot of people are asking, saying they can't find the game. We'll certainly keep you updated with what's going on. Kato Reese says, "Negative, is this a Man United channel?" Grow up, mate. Seriously. Where have you been for the last 2 years? Do you think United fans have suddenly just turned on the manager because of, he wears a dodgy coat? Grow up. And anyway, it is a United fan channel, and it's all about opinion, so express yours instead of making silly childish comments. "Beating young boys and an old lady," says Eric Tapgun. We knew that was going to come. Thanks for the contribution. And Buster B, no, we don't. We've read loads of comments tonight, thanks. Pogba does not look happy, says Man United Boy 13. Well, he's been dropped.
Pogba on the bench then, just seeing him, it looks bored shitless. Absolutely bored shitless.
Roy Keane, simply the best. Young boys are realistically Championship standard. I would even say League One. I don't think they're even Championship standard, to be honest with you. Good little bit of play there. Rashford with the shot. I think he should have cut it back to Lingard, really, but Fellaini fed him in. And it was a good bit of play by Fellaini, to be fair.
That was.
But Fellaini's the thing about Fellaini is, again, 99% of the time we see Fellaini playing as a CDM. Tonight he's playing in a more advanced position, and he's doing all right. But we won't see that happen again, because we're only gonna play a support striker against shit like young boys. When we're back in the Premier League, we'll be back to a midfield three again, and Fellaini will be one of those playing deep, where he's crap. It doesn't surprise me that Fellaini's playing well. I don't think there's a bad United player on the pitch, because the opposition is so bad.
Yeah. You would expect at least 7, 8 out of 10 performances from every player tonight.
It would be inexcusable. Even Phil Jones will have a good game tonight, because they're rubbish.
I think the only person that probably wouldn't get a 7 or an 8 out of 10 is probably De Gea, because he won't have nothing to do. So, but yeah, I mean, we should be winning this game already, in my opinion. We've had 2 great opportunities.
We're a slow, poor passing side, and we're carving them open with passing. They're really bad. Charlie Howard Burn, thanks for that contribution. And Robin Silver says, "Someone once said there's a thin line between genius and insanity. I believe Mourinho's genius has finally run thin, and all you see is his insane persona reflected in his management." Yeah, it could be something in that. Thanks for the contribution, pal. Thoughts on Martial being out of the 2019 calendar, says Ryan FTW. He might be about to score here because he's got somebody on toast. Ooh, unlucky. He still managed to keep it, though. He probably should have got rid of it a little bit quicker there.
Yeah. So again, final decision, final
Offside.
pass.
Yeah, not good enough for Martial there. I didn't know, Ryan, that Martial's not in the 2019 calendar, which amazes me, because he's such a marketable Manchester United player. Why would you not have him in the calendar? And let's not forget, we've had people in the calendar in the past who've then gone on to be sold. I think Schweinsteiger was in it, and he went in the March. I think Rooney was in it, so it is a little bit weird. I must admit. But it is what it is. The club's a mess.
United doing all the right things at the minute, but the final pass is lacking.
Fred's doing well, Adish. You're right. I've
Yeah.
enjoyed what Fred's done. What's the crowd like, says Douglas? It's quite... I don't know what the official attendance is, but there's plenty of empty seats.
Quite a lot of red.
Which I've done it myself in the past. I think these the jokes that we make about City end tonight. Aaron Magoo says, always enjoy watching your live streams. Do you see any major moves in or out this January? I'm actually one of those fans who doesn't want us to sign anyone in January because I wouldn't give Mourinho any money. But if we've got a new manager, I wouldn't mind it. But I think the January transfer window is very hard to do any business in anyway.
Yeah, I think when you bring someone in from abroad, they need time to settle in, don't they, and get used to the pace of the Premier League as well. You can't just chuck them straight in to Premier League action. It's not really fair. United just keeping hold of the ball a minute. It seems like the intensity from the first 10, 15 minutes has dropped off a bit now. I think I just saw the stats on the shots and possession go up a few minutes ago. I think it was 3 shots, 1 on target at the minute. Which again, some would say, coming up to 20 minutes, not really good enough against this opposition. I mean, they're defending well, these lads, young boys. United seem to be missing out on the 50-50s at the minute.
Yeah, we always do, don't we?
Oh, not really getting hold of the ball in the midfield.
Is anyone seeing that we could have been 2-0 if Rashford started to use his head as Master Apple waits? Yeah, I would agree with that. I think, I just put a tweet out actually saying young boys are absolutely atrocious. Tonight's an opportunity to really get a bit of confidence in the attack because it's a gimme. This is a gimme game, 3, 4, 5-0. We should be winning this game.
Yeah.
Shouldn't take the foot off the pedal. They're awful.
I mean, the right ideas are there for that final pass. It's either being overhit or it's just, it's not meeting the intended target at the minute. And if we're playing this way in the first half, I mean, God knows what's going to happen in the second half.
Nothing happens with the corner. I don't know how many fans there are at the ground, Sahami.
Salmon thinks Mourinho is so bad. Pogbalicious Dab said we should beat these farmers. We should be.
Mandy Smith's right. Palace was a gimme, but I think if Crystal... Well, that's a good point by Mandy, because when comparing... If you're trying to sort of understand how good or bad young boys are, I think Crystal Palace would beat them 4 or 5-0. They're not good.
Yeah.
And like Marcus says, we look better because there's only one thing you can do against a team that's this poor, and that is attack. You would never sit back. It would be stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if Mourinho sat back playing, this game, I think that's a death sentence for him. People would absolutely go ballistic at him. I mean, I'm seeing more energy from Mourinho on the touchlines than throughout the game at the Etihad.
Amish says that the attendance is 48,000. I can't for the life of me think that would be the case.
That would be absolutely ridiculous for a Champions League game. A couple of people saying United playing well. Look, don't be fooled by it. Don't be fooled by it. The opposition are crap. To be blunt and honest, they are absolute garbage. So you would expect United to be playing like prime Barcelona in this game, to be honest.
Ooh, Matic is going to get a yellow card.
Yep.
Look at Phil Jones. He's loving this, playing against crap, so he can just chuck his body in there and get the crowd going.
Yeah. The crowd are very, very quiet. Very quiet for a home game. It's just even the atmosphere around the ground just oozes. I don't want to be disrespectful for the fans, but it's not exciting. It doesn't make you excited. And that's purely because everyone knows the lineup and the way we're going to play. Before we even kick off. I think Phil Jones definitely has those pink boots on tonight, Mark.
No, they're worrying. Yeah. They're mocking me.
Yeah.
Like a couple of pink wafer biscuits. Young boys on a rare attack. Sure should get rid of that.
And going back to that Matic foul very, very late.
Yeah,
surprising Luke Shaw got away with one there as well.
Yeah.
Alex A says we're in trouble now. We're not. Not really. I think United are looking comfortable, which, in all honesty, they should be. The golfing class is there to be seen, but
yeah, games can swing, can't they? I mean, at the end of the day,
yeah.
They can swing. Still 0-0, Juventus and Valencia, by the way. But Juventus absolutely dominating that game. So 5 shots to 1, 68% possession to 32, 3 corners to 1. So I think the inevitable results are that I believe we will qualify by winning tonight, and Juventus will beat Valencia. But winning tonight puts us through anyway. So
you know what? When we're defending our own 18-yard box, when we're trying to play it out through the midfield, it is so slow. It's really slow. And when they're trying to play it quick between Matic and Fellaini, they're losing the ball so easily. Ryan says this is brutal. Mandy says I'm starting to smell a bad result.
Adam Fitz, Mourinho is just a spoiled little child.
He always cuts such a solemn look on that touchline. He just has that aura about him. He's just not happy.
Here we go. They've got it wrong here. Oh, a terrible ball. Terrible ball. Lingard got in down the right-hand side, tries to get it across to Rashford, and Rashford ain't getting on the end of that. It's just one ball from the back, though. Poor defending by young boys, and he should be finding him. He should be finding him there.
Should be. You think a player with that quality should be standing right up in front of him, just saying, put that away.
Well, Danny Milner's right. I don't know why Lingard had to play that pass either. He could have ran at them a little bit more. It was a 2v2. He's got loads of space in front of him.
Captain says it seems like this could be a reminder of the Crystal Palace game.
No, I was at the Palace game. I'm sure a lot of you watched it, and we didn't attack like this. It wasn't like this. Palace were a lot better than this opposition.
Gary Wells says this is woeful stuff yet again.
Just shot Rashford there, just wide, edge of the box. Well, not edge of the box, but quite far out. But he had space to shoot. So,
again,
that's what I mean. They're so poor. I can't believe we're not even in front yet.
Yeah. Again, we've had a fair few shots in the first 25 minutes, but the goalie hasn't had to make a save yet.
Edge Mix says that Juventus should have had a penalty. I think the only time we need to worry is if that'll be a corner. The only time we need to worry is if Valencia are winning. Jonathan Jansen says, "I'm glad I took time off work to watch this garbage." Yeah, that's probably a mistake. It's like a practice game, Mindstorm. You're right. It's like a practice game where one team is massively better than the other, and is just not taking its opportunities.
A lot of attack versus defence, isn't it, in training? Again,
so we're not pressing the ball again here. We've just given them a free cross. Awful defending.
Yep, standing off them again, too slow to press the man.
They were on about this in the before the game as well. They were showing clips from the Crystal Palace game, and you watch when the opposition have got the ball. We've been a little bit better because it's like young boys, but we stand off and gave him a free cross. Then there was 2 United players. They backed off when he's on the edge of the box to let him put a cross in. I mean, imagine a player who can put a decent cross in there. He could be 1-0 down. Madness, absolutely madness. We do need Pogba Ahmed game plays. I think Pogba in this game would be ideal, but he's dropping players again, isn't he? Don't know what the ref's giving here. I think he's giving a foul, so we'll just loft it into the box again. Mark Dominic says, "What channel is the game on in the USA?" Apparently it's not on, but I know America's a big country, so it might just be different states that haven't got it on. Should have been 1-0. Matic.
Yeah. Again, just not clinical. We are just not clinical enough.
I don't think Rashford giving it
Rashford's had a good couple of chances as well.
Would have been offside. Donny Anessa says, "Could it be like a Chelsea in 2011-12 in the Champions League? Did they win it that year?" No, because that Chelsea team actually still had some decent players in it, didn't it? United aren't winning the Champions League. I mean, come on. Never say never, but how are they going to win the Champions League? We've already had our lucky result against Juventus. I mean, that was jam on toast, that was. It really was. And I enjoyed it. I loved it. It was great to see. But, you play that game against Juventus 20 times, we'll lose it 19. So
we are definitely missing someone in our midfield to just take control of the game and just pick those passes out. Because even the free kicks, like you said just there, they're just being lofted into the box.
If you played Pogba and Fred in this midfield, we'd dominate it.
Yeah. We just need someone to get hold of that ball there and just play that forward pass. Just pick that pass out and just play it forward, because it's just going from long ball straight from the back to the front.
Corner here. Alec A, once upon a time I would skip class just to watch a United game. Mourinho has completely sucked out my passion for this team and football as a whole, which is a very sad statement. I think we've got a corner here. Douglas, who's a Liverpool fan, says it's a very strange United team. Damn right I paid the 3 to watch this match, says Mirror Germany.
It's so slow in that midfield. It really is. I mean, and that's, you can't even put the blame on Fellaini for that, because he's not even in the midfield. It's Matic. When he picks that ball up, again, he's taking, 4 or 5 touches.
Corner.
Well, I've got to say, young boys are defending quite well at the minute.
Well, we're trying to score. We're just trying to use the height, aren't we? Glenn McMurphy, I would love to see Pereira coming on for Matic. I really would.
Yeah. The only time we've looked threatening is when we've lofted the balls in from set plays.
The only thing this reminds me of Palace game is that 1 goal will be enough. If we can just get 1 goal, it will be enough.
No, that's not good enough, Mark.
I know. Just in the context of a result.
It's sort of like a defeatist way of saying it, and let's just get the one goal and let's be happy about it. No, not for me. I want to see this team play football, and I think they can play football just with someone else in charge. I think there's plenty of attacking talent in this team. There's plenty of creativity that never gets played. He would rather play the 6-foot-plus people, the slow people that will, run through the brick walls for him, than the talent.
Imagine if he took Matic off the cheers. So Chris Thompson, you're probably right. It's probably a reason. You're probably right. If he did take Matic off, there would be cheers at Old Trafford, 100%. I mean, there was a lot of people not happy with Lingard being taken off on Saturday.
Over half an hour, no goals yet, and yet I think to myself, you probably find that Liverpool, City, Chelsea, they'd probably be 2-3 up by now.
It's just composure. A decent team would be two up. I mean, maybe 3 was pushing it, but yeah, the space is there. The opposition are there for the taking. It's just that composure in the final third. I mean, let's be honest. If Rashford could finish, Mourinho could come on at half time now and say we should be 2-0 up, and he's right. We should.
Yeah.
United fans who go to games and watch this misery and pay for tickets should get a lot of credit because they get pretty much robbed every time, says Luke Skywalker. Who's better, Young Boys or Derby? Oh, Derby would beat Young Boys, definitely. Here we go, Martial. No. Bad first touch. Attendance looks considerably lower than usual, says Robert Moore. Yeah, it won't be down in the 40,000s though. I bet it's like...
Probably about 60, 65.
I think Phil Jones is wearing white boots.
Well, we need confirmation then. Are they white or pink?
They look white.
Anyone in the comments?
He's probably heard about the pink boots thing, hasn't he? He doesn't dare wear them. Jose got the sack after a 1-1 versus Rosenborg in the 2007 Champions League. Let's hope something similar happens again. Is Jose hanging by a thread if we lose? Jose out, says Bjorn Lundberg. Oh, I think if we lost tonight, I don't know. I don't know. I think if we lose against... hold on, we've got a chance here with Martial. I think if we lose against Southampton, he might get the sack. Yeah. Tonight's result, I just don't think we'll lose, so I've not even thought about it. Southampton's a losable game. Although we should win it, it's losable.
Quite a few people in the comments saying they're white. So
yeah, I think they're white. He's, he's not stupid. He's obviously Soccer AM we're using that. It's all around the edge of their box at the moment. What was that? Go offside. Well, they're halfway there. Well, they're not quite. If they can get to half time 0-0, I think it's terrible.
Very poor. Very poor so far. I think in terms of the result and the scoreline, disappointing. The chances we've had, should be saying we're going into possibly even 3-0 up. And Young Boys have not offered anything. They've had, I think, one chance of note in the first half so far, but United have carved out 6-7 really good opportunities where they should have put the ball in the back of the net. But you can already see, if plan A don't work, it'll just go long ball in the second half. A couple of people saying, don't worry, we're a second half team. Danny Milner says 7 shots on target. John Allen says, wow, United are dreadful. Nadim's turned off the TV and going to bed.
We're going to miss a goal, Nadim. Skybird says, how did we beat Juventus? Because Juventus missed a load of chances. And then Juventus sat back for the last 10 minutes thinking they could just ride it out, which was stupid. Juventus were the architects of their own downfall.
think also a bit of luck came into the equation that game as well.
Yeah. There's a pass on that. I mean, look at Matic, how slow he is as well.
Yeah. So that guy just doesn't read the game well, in my opinion. He's always got to take his 3-4 touches and then he looks up instead of looking up straight away. Instead of picking a pass out straight away. It's like he just needs to control the ball first because he's so crap and lethargic.
Well, they had a bit of a chance there, young boys.
Mm.
Here we go. I think Rashford's hurt himself there.
Yeah.
Have a shot.
Go for it, mate.
Too many touches again.
Yeah.
Too much. Not quick enough. That's Rashford's problem. He's just bereft of confidence. I think he's injured as well.
Well, hopefully the lad's all right. Don't want to see Lukaku coming on. It'll make it even worse.
Matic is terrible when an opposition's running at our back four because he's just so slow.
Yeah.
See, the trouble is we need to score soon because I felt for the first 25 minutes a goal was absolutely inevitable. But in the last sort of 10 minutes, they're growing in confidence. And why wouldn't you? You know, they're starting to believe. And you know, all sports a confident thing. You know, you suddenly start feeling confident and thinking, they're not as good as we thought. You start making your passes. One of their players is injured here, so he's going to boot it.
Yeah. I just do not see what he gains from playing Matic and Fellaini in this team tonight. I really don't, because Fellaini's had nothing. Fellaini's not got on the end of anything.
No.
So far in the first, 38 minutes. So what is the point of playing them both? Why is there a need to play two players very similar against this opposition? It's almost like he's giving the young boys a bit too much respect, in my opinion, playing them two defensive people. I mean, Fred's our box-to-box midfielder. He looks like he's going to be the one to try and create something, but you find him Fellaini's playing up, well in front of him.
I think the problem with United is that we've had so many attacking opportunities tonight, but we're so it's like a foreign language, isn't it? We're not used to it.
Yeah. Almost like that foreign language should be second nature, but it's not. But people will probably say, like, at half time, well, we've attacked, we've played well. Yeah, of course we've attacked and played well, but we should be against this lot. You know, I mean, let's see us play like this. Let's see if we play like this against Arsenal, against Liverpool. You know, the people that will be challenging for titles. It ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen at all. The guy's just so stuck in his ways because he thinks this is how you win Premier League titles and Champions Leagues. It's not. Football's changed. Football's more adventurous now than sitting back. All right, Tom. Yeah. You know, you can't win titles playing like that anymore.
Still there, mate?
Yeah, mate. Yeah,
I thought you'd gone, yeah. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner. Let's see if we can get up to 305,000 tonight. Young boys on a rare attack, but they've just made a right terrible mistake here. We might
Balls
make
off of that, yeah.
Right, Rashford here. He's got to do something with his final ball, which is something he very rarely does. Oh, he's done well. That's got to be it. Oh, the pass is overplayed. He's got to put that into the path. And wide it goes from Fred. And again, Rashford's final ball is just atrocious. Absolutely atrocious.
Yep. In the story of the first half, mate, the final ball, no matter who it is, has been poor. Fellaini's has been poor. That guy has been absolutely quiet, considering he's supposed to be the focal point tonight, playing behind Rashford. He's not had nothing, absolutely nothing.
It's amazing. You see him in an England shirt, and he's on his game tonight. He could have had a hat trick.
Yeah, maybe that knock that he picked up on international duty is a one, because it kept him out Saturday, didn't it? Mourinho said he had a slight knock and he wouldn't have been starting Saturday.
He needs a calm head. Yeah, it's a good point from Fuzzy Bear. It's like he's done all the hard work there. He's put 2 players on their arse. He's done all the hard work. He's just got to lay it into Fellaini's path.
Yeah.
Martial should have had a free kick there. Ref's been very equal in his shitness, I think. He's given... maybe that wasn't a foul anyway. He's their best player, that right back for them, actually.
Marky says their keeper hasn't made a save yet. I don't think he has, Mark. Do you remember a save? Their goalie yet?
I think he has made a couple of saves, yeah. Not memorable ones, but I'm sure I remember him making a couple of saves. I mean, Chris Smalling's pinging the ball around like prime Rio here, so it just shows you the sort of opposition we're up against. See, Rashford's coming very deep now because he feels he's got a point to prove. That's the problem.
Yeah. They want to pick the ball up from deep now and start running at the fullbacks. But that's what you don't want from him. You want to just stay in your position and just stay central, be that outlet on the counter attack, or as you're going forward.
Oh, Sir Alex is smiling. To be honest, after what he went through in the summer, he's probably just happy to be here, isn't he? He's not going to stress. He's done his bit. His bit's done.
And nearly, we're a couple of minutes away from half time.
Yeah, 43 minutes. So it'd be nice to get one before half time because I think going in at 0-0 is just more negativity that we don't really need, do we? But it's that final ball. This is an awful side that we're playing, and to be still 0-0 is it just shows you the lack of confidence in the team at the moment.
But for me, that can only come from one man, and that's the guy on the touchline.
The thing is, if it takes substitutions to win the game, it's a failure again, isn't it? I mean, how many times did that happen in October? We're having to make changes to come from behind.
Yeah. How many times did the players that he throws under his bus bail him out and keep him in a job? All through October. It was always Martial and Pogba that were the standout players through that month, and those are the two that get the most stick off him. It really is so poor. I mean, even when young boys come forward, they're standing off again. There's no rush to get that ball back.
Oh, Rashford. He's had a Trashford half, to be honest, and I love the kid, but not a good half. Not a good half. He's got it here. Looked onside. Stands his man up. This is how bad they are. They've got 4 defenders and they allow him all the way into the box to get a shot, and he doesn't even hit the goal.
Well, if the kid could put it on target, he'd probably have his hat-trick now. See,
I don't agree. A lot of people saying he's rubbish, this, that and the other, Rashford. I just think he's playing for the wrong manager. I mean, we see what he does for England. He's a different player. I just think he's a young kid who needs some confidence.
Yeah. And that's the difference. Southgate uses him in the right way. Mourinho doesn't.
I mean, they're growing in confidence now. They've just passed it out the back.
Yeah. Obviously, the longer this stays 0-0, the more confidence these young boys get. And they'll be going They'll be going in at half time.
Oh, they should have been. They had the chance there. What's he doing?
One. Yeah.
What? I mean, that's the standard of this opposition. He's into his path in the 6-yard box. All he's got to do is smash his foot round it, and he tries to do a flick. It was a real chance for them. They've got. They should be scoring then. What is he doing with his little flick there? What a prick! If I was a Young Boys fan, I would be fuming. That should have been 1-0 to them.
Very poor. That's always a danger. Always a danger for these lesser sides. They've always got a chance. They just need a sniff of goal and they'll punish. Again,
Right,
very slow.
The ref's had on quite a long time here.
Slow to close the man down out wide again.
Oh, there is 2 minutes added on. Sorry, I thought there was only one. We may as well hit it, Phil.
Yeah, not as well.
That'll be half time.
Yep.
And 0-0 it will be.
What do you think then, Mark?
Massive chance for Young Boys then, but I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not going to dwell on that chance for them too much. It's you know, I think if we'd been clinical in the finals, I mean, you know what, Mourinho's got the perfect excuse tonight because he will come out and say, we'll score in the second half. He'll make the changes and we'll score. And what he'll say at the end of the game is, yeah, we should have been 3 or 4-0 up at half time. We're just not. He'll throw it onto the players. He did it yesterday in his press conference. So, but Marcus Rashford should have scored early on. Mourinho doesn't look very happy. But to be honest with you, I mean, I agree with you, Marcus. I think that the thing for me in that half is that the team's just wrong anyway. Yeah. You know, Rashford should have scored. But to be honest with you, how many chances did we have in that game? Because I'll double it. That's what I think Liverpool or Man City would do. They'd have double the chances. So we can all go, well, Rashford's this, Rashford's that. But I personally think for the quality of the opposition, they still managed to carve us open for a chance themselves, which is just ridiculous. And for the quality of the opposition, I think we should be having a lot more chances than we've had. So yeah, I would say we should be in front, and maybe we've missed a couple of opportunities, and yeah, Rashford's not had a great half. But are we going to hide behind the fact that Rashford's had a bad half, or are we going to wake up and smell the coffee here and say, actually, the team's wrong? You know, we don't need Fellaini and Matic on that pitch. We don't need either, really, but at a push, you need one. Don't need a CDM like Matic in front of a back four when they offer absolutely nothing. We don't need Fellaini there for long balls when we're not playing long balls. Get bloody Pogba on or Pereira on to play with Fred. Get the ball on the ground. Keep doing what we're doing and we'll win 2 or 3-0. We've got too many wrong players on that pitch at the moment. And the two, for me, are Matic and Fellaini. I think Fellaini had a decent half, but we don't need that sort of player. And Matic again, I mean, he gets himself booked. He's getting run off all over the place. His movement of the ball is terrible. I thought Lingard was pretty poor as well. Second half of the first half. Thought he started off well and then ran out of energy. Martial again, quite disappointing, and Rashford disappointing. But for me, my thoughts are that we look like a team that tonight we're attacking a lot because we're playing against a poor team. But we look like a team being asked to speak a foreign language because we're so unused to having so much attacking possession that I don't think we know what to do with it because we're so used to not having a lot of attacking possession. That's my thoughts. So I don't know about you, Marcus.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you. I think Martial and Fred have been the most attacking players that we've got. I mean, yeah, okay, the chances have fallen to Rashford, but Martial down that left-hand side, when he's got that ball, when Luke Shaw can pick him out or he's got that ball out from Matic out to the left-hand side, Martial is trying to run at the fullback. It's just a shame that, again, you know, the final ball is just not good enough. Fred, he started well, first 10, 15 minutes. He's sort of gone off the pace a bit, but I would say that's just a lack of game time. So hopefully Fred can stay on and, you know, he can do the full 90 minutes. But Fellaini, I think, what's the point of Fellaini being in that game for the first 45 minutes, apart from couple of times I saw in the opposition's penalty box, he's not caused any trouble. There's been no balls into the box that he can get on the end of, and the only floated ball that did cause any damage was the one to Matic, where his first touch let him down and the keeper jumped on it. But Rashford, for me, has been really disappointing. He's been good performance, but his finishing has let him down.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll come through this because I really don't think that. Well, it's been proved by that half. They're god awful, but not us for a change. Jurassic Park United. I'm talking about young boys. I mean, they had a golden opportunity and the idiot tried to flick it. I was looking forward to seeing Delot play. I hate Mourinho, says Dylan Walsh. Look, again, we've got through to a half of a game and we haven't scored a goal. That's how many. What was the score? So we've played Crystal Palace and Young Boys, and we've had a game and a half without scoring. That's pretty poor. Yep. Hayden Haman says, please shout out Zach Barakat at H's house watching. There you go. There's your shout out, Zach Barakat. Ernest Tabari says, no, Mark, he doesn't have the perfect excuse. Look at Sterling. He misses tons of chances, but it doesn't matter because of the chances they create. Spot on. What a comment that is. You're right. And that's sort of what I was saying. I think that... we'll all have a go at Rashford, but I think we should be creating double the amount of chances we've created. Where's the flair in the middle of the park coming from? We always dig a hole for ourselves. Another point, so many empty seats in the stadium. Yeah, I don't think we've had an official line yet on the attendance, but I ain't got a problem with that. I ain't got a problem with people not turning up. I mean, they've had 45 minutes there and they'd be like, I don't know whether I fancy that. So, It's interesting because I think we've been more. It's been interesting to watch to see us attacking, but
yeah, but you've got to look at the opposition, Mark. We're attacking because of the opposition. That's it. I mean, I know you can only play what's in front of you, but the opposition are really poor. They've not. I mean, apart from that chance at the end, I would probably say that's probably the chance of the game so far. I know we've missed a fair amount of chances. But it was, that chance for Young Boys then, just that one chance, mate. If that had got in, it's a whole different game plan. And that's all they need. They just need, I mean, we've not got a clinical finisher in Rashford, It's just how many more chances have we got to create here for one to get put in the back of the net? And it makes you think going into the second half because up front, the only option he's got is Lukaku. And to me, that makes it worse. That will make it so much worse in terms of our style of play. So I think the creativity has got to come from the midfield. He's got to get a midfielder on there that can ping that ball forward.
Oh, let's not forget, I mean, Valencia and Juventus are drawing at the moment, so United need to win this game, and I'm sure he will go for that win at some point in the second half. Happy birthday to Josh Fricker, who's over in Canada. And Zahab says, I could do what Matic does. You'd probably do it a little bit better, to be fair. The front three are disappointing, says Jazzy now. They just aren't good enough tonight. We just have to admit this scoreline is on them. You're right in a way. I mean, look, I'm not going to deny that. We should have scored the goals, but the opposition is crap. I mean, Mourinho's acting like a spoilt, petulant child on the sideline. That's just not what I managed. You know what? I've just seen what he did there, right? Rashford misses a one-on-one. He turns to the crowd and goes,
shakes his
and starts
head.
mumbling. That's the manager of that young lad. That's demeaning. That's undermining of a young striker to turn to the crowd, cross your arms like a spoilt little brat and start, basically dissing him. You're the manager of that kid. What do you think he's going to do when he watches that back on the highlights? Feel inspired? No, it's more pressure on him. This is our bloody manager. And you know why he does that? Because he wants the crowd to realise it's not me. It's not me, it's them. That's all it's about. Mourinho United. It's all about his image. It's not my fault. I don't know why always me, Balotelli had that t-shirt, didn't he? He should have one saying it's not my fault on it, Jose Mourinho. Thanks for the contribution, Manas Sama. But that's a disgrace from Mourinho, that is. An absolute bloody disgrace. And I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he shouldn't be frustrated. I think, I guarantee you'd probably see Jurgen Klopp and Pep frustrated, maybe banging the floor because it's a missed chance. But that's different. That's a moment of frustration. Turning around slowly and going, it's petulant. It's not good. It's not good.
No, it's the body attitude, isn't it? It's so frustrating to see that from our manager. It's almost as if he's just slating the players with his body movement. He doesn't need to say anything. He just looks to the crowd, looks to the directors up in the stands, and shakes his head, and as if to say, "Well, look, this is why I need the money. This is what I'm getting without money." And it's a shame. It really is a shame because, like you said there, when Rashford watches his back, or they watch it back tomorrow in training or something, and he'll start pinpointing and picking out the mistakes and everything of the players. So. No, it shouldn't be done. There's a time and a place for stuff like that. You shouldn't be doing that on the touchline. It's childish.
I mean, Jared says you've got to empathise with the manager when players can't finish. Oh, yeah. Mate, if I was the manager of Manchester United and Rashford missed that chance, you know what I'm like. I'd be banging my fist on the floor. But the first person that comes to my head here is Jurgen Klopp. I could imagine him banging his fist on the floor in frustration, and then his brain will kick in and realise, I've got rid of that now. Shout at Rashford, come on, go again, don't worry about it. Because that's what you do. It's human nature. Of course you're going to be frustrated about the miss, but to turn away petulantly, mumbling, oh, this is what I've got to put up with, like Marcus says, get the frustration out your body, you get Rashford and you go, let's go again. It's called man management. That's what it is. And we haven't got somebody who can man manage. If I would be frustrated with Rashford missing that chance, but I would be on his ear straight away saying, go again, don't worry about it, get your head up. That's what I would do after that initial moment. We don't get that from our manager. You just get the sulky Mourinho show. Mata needs to come on in case we get a free kick, says Carter. I would get Mata on. I think that midfield three is Fred's done okay. Fellaini, useless unless we're going to hit long balls. And Matic, useless. So get Matic and Fellaini off. Get Pogba and Mata on. They're not a very good team. They're giving us a lot of possession anyway. Let's get at them. Let's move the ball around. I think the way to beat them, and the way that we've carved them open with numerous times, is quick passing along the ground. Get players on who can do it. Jose is the reason why the players aren't having any confidence, says Fidas. And Matic, Fellaini off, Andreas and Mata on, says WW Batesy. He's never going to take Matic off though, is he, Marcus?
No, of course he won't. I mean, Matic is one of his boys, isn't he? Matic is probably the leader of the Mourinho club. So, no, I don't think Matic coming off. Do you know what? I would take Fellaini off. I really would. But again, Mourinho won't do that. The one that's likely to come off is Fred, for me, because he hasn't played game time. And I'm thinking Mourinho will just take him off, and he'll probably... It wouldn't surprise me if he put McTominay in there, just to be spiteful, because that's the sort of stupid substitution that he would make. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Rashford come off because he's missed a handful of chances, and he'll stick that big cumbersome oaf up there in Lukaku, who cannot hold on to a ball, let alone kick it, and it will just make us worse. It will just make us worse, and we'll probably end up, if we do win the game, we'll probably end up getting an own goal, off. Lukaku will probably shoot and it'll come off the backside of one of their players and go in, and then Mourinho's all happy and smiles again because he's pulled off a master plan. So yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible when you think of what the team should be, and then you think of, okay, what's Mourinho going to do? It is between us fans and between the manager, it's totally different, and I can see him coming on. I can see McTominay coming on. I can see Lukaku coming on because he'll go for height. And we all know that Mourinho in the last 20 minutes will knock that ball forward long. So there's no reason for Rashford or Fred to be on there.
He might bring Rashford off at half-time and bring Lukaku on, considering how he reacted to him. Ernest Tabiri says, Lineker on TV said he'd be absolutely livid with Jose's reaction if he was Rashford. I refuse to blame Rashford or any of our young players. Thanks for the contribution, Ernest. Look, I say it as I see it. Rashford should have scored maybe 2 goals in that half. He had a very, very bad half. But you know what? Marcus Rashford has been at our youth setup since he was a little boy. He is what Manchester United's all about. He's a young lad. And I see him in England. I've seen him playing for England, and I see a manager who I wouldn't want anywhere near United. I don't think Southgate's a great club manager, but I think what he does is he gets a set of players for a very short period of time. They love him. He loves them. He treats them with respect. He puts an arm around their shoulder. He gets to know them, and they play for him. And fair play for him for that. I see it at Manchester United, and we had a massive insight to that just now. A manager who has very high standards. Who, if you don't meet his high standards, he sulks and moans. And I don't I think there is the answer why Rashford is struggling at United and doesn't struggle for England. He's got a manager who he believes in the national coach, and he's got a manager who doesn't believe in him as his club. And I would play Rashford every day of the week over Lukaku because I think I don't rate Lukaku.
No, I mean, can you see Lukaku getting them chances that Rashford had in the first half? Because I can't. Because Lukaku just wouldn't make that movement. Lukaku just stands there on the edge of the box, expecting the ball to be played into his feet. And when he does get the ball, his first touch is atrocious, and it goes.
Well, for a start, all those chances for Rashford are on his right foot, which is why Rashford should do better. Lukaku's left-footed, so that would have been pantomime if he'd have had those chances.
The difference there, but the difference between the two, Mark, is that Rashford can make chances out of nothing. Rashford can run the channels. Rashford can take on one or two players. Lukaku can't do that. Lukaku just stands there wanting the ball to come to him. He's not prepared to put in the movement, the runs in behind, or run in the channels anymore. And that all comes down from the training for me. It's, Mourinho just doesn't want to see that from his star number 9. And it's really bad because, to me, that's what a Manchester United number 9 should do. Tartan Spartan says he's better off watching I'm a Celeb.
Yeah, it is nearly not. It is 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Second half, we're surely going to get over the line here. They're making a substitution. Oh no. That's the event. Oh no, this is. This is. I thought we was watching the Juventus game. Then they're making a substitution. Doesn't look like United are.
No, because the worst thing is as well. Mourinho's plan B is actually plan A from the get go for Laney. So what is his plan B today? It's probably McTominay. It's awful. It's awful. The bench is better. It's like the comment said earlier before we kicked off. The bench midfield is better than what the starting 11 midfield is. And
it's always the same, though, isn't it?
All game.
How many times did we say that? Our bench is better than the starting lineup because whatever you think about Mourinho, his team selections are always wrong. Anyway, I would expect to see a better United in this first 5 minutes because one thing is certain, Mourinho definitely will have been very angry. He looked it and he'll probably be saying, "You're embarrassing yourselves. Get out there and get the goals you need to score." It looks like Martial may have gone more central.
So he's probably chucked Rashford out wide then.
Yeah, Rashford's gone out wide, which is not a good thing for Martial because Martial's never going to be our number 9.
No, so Rashford then, I'll take it Rashford's gone to the left then, didn't they? Because Lingard won't go left.
No, Rashford's on the left. Looks like Martial's gone down the middle.
But again, I just think it's the wrong decision.
Now gone back to the left.
It's the wrong decision because Martial is never going to get played as a number 9.
So young boys have just lost their captain and number 1 centre back who's gone off injured. Martial was definitely diving for a penalty there.
Yeah,
definite dive.
Antonio Brown says there's no motivation. Damien says, I think Fred and Shaw have done well. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think Luke Shaw has done as well as he can. Fred, I thought, had a pretty decent first half considering he's not been playing for ages. But so far, I've got to say, I know it's only been, a minute and a half, but it doesn't look like the same as the start of the first half to me.
It doesn't?
No, not to me at all. Not to me. United, in the first few minutes of that first half, were pressing high up the pitch. They were hustling the players. It just... I don't know. I don't know what he says to them at half time, Mark. I really don't. If anyone in the comments knows what he says at half time, please let me know, because they just do not look the same team. They do not look the same team.
Right, I'm just going to pop for a quick toilet break. I should have done it at half
Okay.
time. I just don't want to miss the goal, because there'd probably only be one.
I just got it at the back at the minute. Smalling just with a rash clearance out, but United still keep possession. I mean, again, normally second half, it's the long balls, and Fellaini now is playing alongside Matic, so we've not even got that threat behind our number 9 anymore. Andrew says he's sabotaging the club. Do you know, I'm starting to lean that way, Andrew. I really am. Passerman says it kills me to say it, but this guy's lost the locker room. Yep. Timberland boots warming up, says Fuzzy Bear. Hopefully it's just because he's cold. No surprise there are empty seats, says DH756. Captain says, Marcus, there are so many similarities to this game and the Crystal Palace game. Do you know, mate, I know Mark said no, but the way they're playing, it's dire. Something, motivation, confidence. There is something really lacking in this team. Really lacking. Mourinho, again, he's just standing on the touchline, same position, hands in his pockets, no clapping of the hands or motivation on the sideline for the players or anything. Just standing there, looking. Mark Henry is warming up, says Kyle. Yeah. Conrad, I will do sometime. When he's not busy, I will do. Jose out. He wants to get the sack, says Stephen. If McTominay and Lukaku come on, I am off to bed, says Farouk. I am watching from South Africa, says T-Man Gaming. The young boys have got possession in our half. And do you know what? They're actually sweeping it around quite confidently.
I'm back now.
Oh, mate.
Anything happen?
No, nothing at all. Absolutely nothing. There was a long ball by Matic, but couldn't get control on it. And there was an offside by Rashford.
Remember, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner, get involved with the United Stand. Very interesting time at the moment to be a United fan. Lots of content, lots of shows. We had the Flex and Rant show going out at 1 o'clock today if you've not seen it. Transfer show tomorrow lunchtime, which is weekly. And then obviously tomorrow night at 8 o'clock we'll be live as per usual. And we'll be taking your calls after this game as well. I'll do my match reaction, then we'll take your calls. Because I know, as I said, this result tonight, I do think we'll win it. It's not gone the way I thought it was going to go, but I do think we'll win it. But I think there's much bigger pictures to discuss about. You might want to call in and do that as well. And then obviously we've got the fan cams. I say we've got the fan cams. There doesn't seem to be that many fans at Old Trafford. Hopefully some of them will stop and talk to Flex, and we'll have them going up later as well. So get involved, and bottom right hand corner to do that. We've got a free kick here. See if we can do what Mourinho wants to do, which is just get it on the end of Fellaini's head or Matic's head. Fred pops it in into the keeper's hands.
Yeah.
Pressing. Is it a realistic expectation to get Sir Alex back for one season, says Ben Silver? Absolutely not. Not in a million years.
Oh, you did miss something as well. Lukaku and Mata were warming up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jose will blame players for this performance, says Jason Cleveley. Nothing new there.
Apparently Leon has scored as well.
Oh, they're playing Man City, aren't they?
Yeah.
They've already beaten once.
So as it stands at the minute...
come on. Valencia, you've got to be bloody careful there. Yeah. I thought it was Matic for a minute. I thought he was going to get a yellow card. Stop watching BT Sport and come here instead. More entertaining, says Phone Monkey 187. Come where? I dread to think what's going to happen if Lukaku comes on. I really do. It's just going to be even worse. The good thing tonight, though, there is a plus.
Fred has been on the dead ball situations.
Yeah, well, we need somebody who can do that.
Which is good, yeah. And delivery from him isn't actually too bad, is it, really? It's just a shame. They're always lofted balls into the box. I think United they're gonna get caught out quite a few times in this second half. The more they press for the winner, and the longer it goes on, the more confident these young boys are going to be. Dangerous situation, dangerous game to play. Again, there's no intensity to chase down the ball. They're just bypassing Matic in the midfield.
Well, since I've come back, which is only for about 3 or 4 minutes, young boys have been the better team.
Yeah. They did press. They started pressing when you went to the toilet, mate. I think that change at half time for them has certainly improved them.
Look, young boys are a bad side, but at least when they attack, they're trying to keep the ball on the floor and create things. I mean, all we do is pass it around and try and hit a long ball. Everything we've done has been a long ball. Even the long balls that Rashford was getting on the end of. Matic again. He's got to be pretty careful. He keeps diving in. He got away with that one. They'll just hit it.
Stop dancing around with it, man. Just bang it.
Oh, God. Rashford again.
Oh, they're looking a lot more threatening in the second half, young boys. A lot more threatening. Obviously, the coach has realised it was one-way traffic in the first half, and has just told them to go out and play in the second half. Nothing
Good
really
play by
lose.
Martial, that was, to get him set up. I don't know where Sanchez is, WS Plutter. I'd love to have seen Alexis Sanchez playing in this game as an option tonight.
A lot of people saying get Rashford off.
Yeah, he'll be off in a minute.
Yeah. Young boy's got nothing to lose, says Tartan. Yep, exactly. Helen says she's seen a ship turn quicker than Matic. That's a good one.
I thought that was a foul by Matic there, but I think if the ref gives it, he's probably got to give him a yellow card.
I think now the first 10 minutes of the second half, I think the game is screaming out for Pogba.
Yeah, I just tweeted that. Get Pogba and Matic on.
Yeah. Just need someone in that midfield to hold on to that ball.
Oh my God, I
rush.
can't believe that. I thought it was a foul on the keeper and the ref didn't even give it. Rashford absolutely barges into him. And then it drops to Fellaini, who should just score. It's a simple goal. It's a definite foul on the keeper, and then Fellaini misses from 5 yards out. I mean, to be honest, I'll take any goal we can get, but it was 100% a foul on the goalkeeper, and then Fellaini misses it. Is Southgate available to sign? Can we get him? Says Crash89. Juventus have scored as well, so all we've got to do is get a goal and we're through. I mean, that'll go down as a terrible miss by Fellaini, but realistically, it was actually terrible defending. And I think Fellaini, to be fair to Fellaini, that would have been in my head as well. I'm just hitting this for no reason because it's going to be a foul. I think if he'd known, he hopefully would have scored it. But well, he should have scored it anyway, shouldn't he?
Well, it's good to see. I mean, Luke Shaw's getting forward a fair bit as well the whole game. Not really seen that from Valencia down that right hand side. He seems to be the one that's sitting back at the fullbacks. I think if United are going to win this game, it's probably going to come in the last 10 minutes. I mean, they're just trying.
I don't think he'll take Fellaini off though, because he's just basically just standing on the edge of the box, isn't he? Mourinho's going to love that.
But from what I can remember, Mark, he's only been involved 2 or 3 times in situations like that.
Oh my life. The worst cross you'll ever see from Phil Jones there.
It's the white boots, mate.
It's the white boots. The ref is awful. I mean, he's giving us a free kick there, but to me, it's just a shoulder barge. And then Lingard does get fouled, and he doesn't give it us. It's hard to read this ref. Oh, Smalling with the flick. It's a bit end to end now. Come on, this is where quality's got to shine. And then Fellaini goes sideways and gives it to Matic, who takes about 50 touches. 3, 4.
4. Yes.
They've defended well, to be fair, the second half.
They have.
It was a bit ragged in the first half. Danny Dobson says, Mark Lawrenson is such a biased fuck. Why is that goon commentating on a United game? I don't know. Is Mark Lawrenson commentating on BT? Doesn't normally, does he?
No, I don't think.
I don't listen to it anyway. I don't have the audio on. I'd rather interact with you lot, proper fans. Yeah, that's a good point from Nathan Brown. Fellaini with the whole pitch to run into and passes sideways. But that's that sort of player, isn't it?
That's what they do. Oh, it's really weird for me as well. We've not seen Pogba or Mata warm up. Well, Mata we have, but not seen Pogba warm up at all.
City have scored. God, we're overplaying it.
Yeah.
Well, that's good play by him. Don't know what his name is. I don't know any of their names really.
Absolutely terrible. I mean,
He's got to make subs soon because
he's good.
Well done, Martial. Good play.
The thing is, apart from Pogba and Mata, those are the only two that could realistically improve the what we're seeing. I mean, last thing you want is Lukaku coming on.
Don't know. I think that young boy's defender is very unlucky to get a yellow card for that when he's controlled the ball and gone to clear it and then Rashford's popped in. It's a bit of a harsh yellow card. Here's Lukaku.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen.
It's got to be Rashford.
Lukaku's going to score, isn't he?
Yeah, probably will do. And, you get everyone back on the bandwagon again and, Lukaku's the best thing since sliced bread.
If people want to be like that, it's up to them, isn't it? It's all about opinion at the end of the day. They'll, look, the reality is when it comes to Mourinho, that's one thing. When it comes to Lukaku, I don't even know what the solution is to that. I mean, we may get rid of Mourinho at some point, but how easy is it going to be to get rid of a £75 million striker? I don't think anyone would give us half that. So I actually do think that hopefully Lukaku does improve because we are stuck with him longer than we're stuck with Mourinho.
Yeah, I suppose if you look at it that way, yeah.
I mean, you look at how long we've kept Darmian. That's because we can't get the money we want. He wants to go back to Italy, but no one will give us the money, so we've just kept him. So, times that by 10 with a player who's worth so much more.
Absolutely criminal if Pogba doesn't come on. Really is. We want creativity instead of just lumping this ball in the box and hoping.
Lingard shoot straight at the keeper. Man of the match, Fred. 17. Come on, United. Says Hannibal Wolf. Yeah, I think Fred's been good. Right, we've got him stretched here.
Yeah, I think I just saw we've had 12 attempts, 1 on target.
Too slow that by Fred. Why is he not getting a shout? That's your typical thing you learn in kid football. Man on, and he doesn't get a shout.
Yeah. And that's the communication factor. It's so bad at the minute.
Lukaku was 90 million with bonuses. We were mugged off, says Jared Pessimant. Yeah, you're right. Can't Rashford score before he comes on?
Constant throwing, says everyone duck. Here comes Lukaku.
Martial's just hit one from 35 yards, which is just stupid. Here's Pogba as well. So, Pogba and Lukaku, I would say it's got to be Rashford and Lingard.
I'm going to say Rashford and Fellaini.
It's Lingard.
Yeah.
For Lukaku. I hope it's not Fred for Pogba. That would be a disgrace.
Yeah.
If Jose managed Barcelona, he wouldn't use Messi because he's a good header, says Jose out. Ilias Imar. I think you're probably right. It's Fred. Fred for Pogba, for God's sake.
Well, I got one right. I did say Fred would come off before we kicked off.
Pogba needed to come on, but how does Matic stay on?
Yeah. And even Fellaini for that sake as well, because Fellaini's not really been involved here. I mean, we've taken.
I thought Fred played really well.
I thought he did. I thought he had a really good first half. Started off second half a bit quiet, but he's grown into it the longer the game's gone on. But it's the same old story.
It's the Newcastle game, though, isn't it? There's no actual process in how we're going to win this game now. It's just gung ho.
Yeah.
You've got Rashford, Martial, Fellaini, Lukaku just hanging around the box, and then Matic and Pogba playing as quarterbacks, and then just chuck the ball in the box.
And now with 5 minutes to go, I'm going to predict that McTominay will come on for the height.
Wide again, Rashford. Aren says Jones has had a good game. Mate, I'd have a good game at centre back against this lot. They're not, let's see how he does against Southampton before we start.
Straight away,
Jones the solution.
As soon as Pogba gets the ball, his first instance is to knock it long 40 yards forward. And that's what we were missing all game. Just someone to ping that pass out wide. Just to spot a runner. The substitutions he makes is absolutely ludicrous. And Fred as well. He's been taking the set pieces. Andy Pandy says, disagree, Marcus, he won't come in. Oh, I don't know. Do you know what? I wouldn't bet against it, mate. I mean, he's over 6 foot tall, isn't he? So I can't see him bringing Matter on. He's too short if they're still chasing for the goal 10 minutes to go. Mourinho is mad, says Lanry. Yep. Matt Hickey is asleep. Johnny 988 says Fred off. What a joke.
To be honest though, it's the same as the Palace game. If anyone didn't watch the Palace game, the same thing happened. Lukaku left his ball behind. He's hilarious. He is. He's such a funny player. We should have a Benny Hill theme tune every time. I mean, he'd probably score, but I'm just saying he never knows whether he's got the ball with him or not. I mean, it's embarrassing. I still think we'll find a goal, but it's embarrassing that 70 minutes we haven't scored yet. Marlon Bloomfield says Jose's absolutely clueless. Well, we're Route 1, aren't we? He can't break a team down like young boys. So we go gung ho, plan B. And it might work today. It might work today because they're not a great team that we're up against. But this is all.
You know what? If anything, those substitutions played right into the hands of young boys because they know Lukaku is just bang out of form at the minute, and as long as they don't let him run, they'll be fine. They'll be able to deal with him all day long. I mean, they're growing in confidence. They really are. Oh dear! Ain't no goal coming tonight.
Go on, pay now. He's in a 1-on-1. Oh, it's behind him again from Lukaku. Just put it in front of him.
Parade says Lukaku's having a brilliant game so far. Yeah. I think that's a bit
Martial's
sarcasm.
made the run there. Just play it in front of him. He plays it behind him and to the side.
Yeah, totally not in his path.
See, people are saying Martial for fuck's sake. The ball from Lukaku was absolutely atrocious. Get it in front of him. Just play it in front of him. He's going to burn that defender for pace, and he plays it behind him.
Super Dave says this is like drawing with a League Two side.
Matter's coming on.
You're not far off. Oh, Matter. Right. So who's going to sacrifice now then?
It'll be Rashford or Martial, won't it? It won't be Fellaini
It's
or
gonna be one,
Matic.
yeah. The thing is, again, I mean, if he takes Rashford and Martial off, there goes our pace.
Goal!
Oh,
No, didn't cross the line. Couldn't have crossed the line. Bloody hell.
no.
What a chance.
Save.
Well, it would have been a little bit of a lucky chance. Super save by De Gea, exactly. What a save. Dave saves again.
This is... I said it in the first half, mate. This is the fucking danger now. They're going to sit back. Every time United come forward, they're going to attack. They only need one sniff to get their confidence going. Absolute fucking... It's a joke, man. Absolute joke. But De Gea, again, keeping us in the game. That should never have happened, in fairness.
This is ridiculous, isn't it? You know, all the money we've got, all the players we've got, and we're 0-0.
Yeah. Again, everyone who's watching this game, even if we do somehow manage to win it, don't forget the dangers that these young boys have created for us. You know, yeah, we'll be glad we got the 3 points and that, but, you know, the game shouldn't be like this. Shouldn't be like this at all. Like you said there, Mark, the amount of money we got.
What a save by De Gea.
Yeah. You know, the golfing class between the two teams, you'd think there's nothing between them there in this second half.
It would have been a fortuitous goal for young boys, but the save is just absolutely
fantastic,
magnificent. He's stretching back and he claws it out. It's just that's why he's the best goalkeeper in the world for me. He may not play in one of the best teams in the world, but Valencia I think is coming off a matter here. Oh no, maybe not. I mean, Valencia looks like he's put on a bit of timber as well. Yeah, it is. It is Valencia.
So what? 3 at the back now then.
Mm-hmm. It's good, just gung ho, isn't it? Get everything you've got in the attack and go for it.
Oh, what that? Thankfully, the goal line technology ruled it out.
Free kick over the bar. So we're still in it, still drawing. Bloody hell. Yep. We've still got a chance, everybody. Hang on in there.
Connor, Delot's not even in the team, mate. He's not even playing. Oh, dear. De Gea deserves to be United's highest paid player, says Shijit. Yep, totally agree with that. give that guy whatever he wants.
Oh, I thought Martial was going to score then.
Luke Davis says 0-0 at home against Young Boys. Embarrassing. Totally agree with you. Disgraceful.
Don't be so negative, everybody. We'll find a goal. It's inevitable. Lukaku's just headed wide. Good cross by Fellaini. Oh, if that had gone in, Mourinho would have had a hard on till Christmas. He would have loved that. Fellaini with the cross and Lukaku with the header. He'd have lived off that for years. I told you I'm the special one. And they're my favourites. To be fair, I think Lukaku should hit the target for 75 million there. It's right on his head.
I think now Valencia's gone off, we'll probably see Pogba sit alongside Matic now, you know.
Hit it. Oh. Hit it. Martial, then Shaw.
It's so frustrating. So frustrating.
This is what it was like on Saturday, but against a better team.
I mean, you can't even say that United deserve to be 0-0 at the minute, because the chances we've had throughout the whole, 70-odd minutes, 75 minutes, we should have at least put one of them away, at least.
Chance for them again. Got to be careful here. It's. I think tell you what. I think Young Boys go away from this game no matter what. Absolutely ecstatic now.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like we're going to smash them 3 or 4-0 now, is it? We're going to nick it 1, maybe 2-0 at best.
But, let's not forget as well, they could be 1-0 up at the minute, and maybe they should be, but for De Gea. I think if anyone else is in goal, but apart from De Gea, that's a goal. When it was, he saved it on the line.
Oh yeah, there's not many goalkeepers who can make a save like that.
I mean, if that's Romero or Grant in net, that's a goal, 100%.
Go on, Smalling.
A nervy last 10 minutes coming up. I've got the exact same feeling now as what I had against Palace. Just hoping now that we can hold on to a 0-0. John Duffy says Romero is a great keeper. Yeah, I'm not disputing the fact, but I'm just saying, he wouldn't have got down to have saved that. No way would he have got down to save that.
Well, I tell you what, it's the same thing I said against Palace, to be honest with you. The amount of opportunities Young Boys are getting on the break, if they were a team with any quality, I think they would have. They might have had a couple of goals because they're having good opportunities. I just don't think they've got the quality.
Well, so far, the difference is the goalkeeper. It certainly isn't anything else. It's just the fact that we've got the world's best goalkeeper. That's the difference. It's nothing to do with strikers or the outfield players. The fact is, the reason we are drawing 0-0 right this minute is because of the best goalkeeper in the world.
Second half, I'd have to disagree. I'd have to agree. I think first half we had chances that we should have scored, but if it's 0-0 at half time, you have to reset and go again. And then this second half, we haven't really had the chances yet.
Yeah. Apparently Leon are 2-1 up now.
Well played, Mata.
I mean, can you? I mean, it's pretty obvious United are going to fashion some more chances somehow in these last 10 minutes. But
I've said all night that I think we'll win. I don't think that's in doubt. I can't deal with this shit anymore, says Daedric Riggs. I think we'll win, but I think we're all at that point now where if we do win, we're just going to be like, fucking hell, you know.
Yeah.
There's no glory in it, is there? It's embarrassing, really.
Yeah, it's one of those situations now where you get the 1-0 and think, thank fuck for that, you know.
Yeah.
Just get away from me. But some of the football in the second half from United has been terrible. Again, it's the same old story, mate. Story of two halves. First half,
we've been
we were
shit
really
second half,
decent.
haven't we? I thought, you know, surely we'll take that momentum into the second half as young boys tire, but I mean, I've got to be honest. I mean, what has Fellaini done in this entire game?
Nothing.
I'm not digging the lad out. I mean, maybe he'll get a goal at the end because that's sort of like what you'd expect from him, but. And he just nods it down to Mata. I mean, we are starting to... I mean, that's good to see because what is he on the pitch for if you're not going to utilise his strength? And that ball there, you get it in the box, he nods it down, Mata shoots over. It would have been very difficult for Mata to score. But we've not actually utilised him in this game. City 2-2, apparently.
Just seen as well, second half stats, 5 shots for us, 0 on target, 5 for young boys, 2 on target.
So it's been a very equal second half then.
Yeah, I think if anything, I'd have to say United look more tired, to be honest. They just look absolutely out of ideas now.
I mean, if we had anybody in charge of this club who knew anything about football, they'd be looking to make changes.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely clueless. It's just going to be long ball, straight down the middle, hit and hope, basically. And
then what we'll do when we get the goal, we'll sit back. Because Mourinho will be terrified about them scoring a goal themselves. So 1-0 is probably the limit we're going to get in this game. Maybe 2 if they have to push and try and get an equaliser, but...
And we've already seen the dangers that young boys possess in the second half. You know, I mean, and that's when the game has been quite open, a bit end to end. Imagine what it'd be like if we're defending, just shutting up shop with a 1-goal lead. Pathetic.
Bearded Red says, we are Manchester United drawing at home to Young Boys. If we draw this game, surely Mourinho has to be gone. Absolute disgrace. Well, long time to go yet. Side netting from Smalling, who's now in the box. I mean, it's just absolutely gung-ho.
But all the big players are up there. All the over 6 foot players are in the box. I mean, that's how desperate you are when you've got Smalling playing as centre forward. You know, I mean, like you said, third choice centre back really for United, and he's playing centre forward now. Now, the furthest player forward is our centre back. Fucking laughable. Still confident we'll nick it?
You've got to believe, haven't you? You've got to believe, because it's this Manchester United at Old Trafford, and this would be 180 minutes against not very good sides that we've not scored against. You've got to believe we can find an opportunity. I mean, we did it in October, didn't we? Against better teams than against a lot better teams than Young Boys. So surely we can fashion a chance. I mean, we didn't do it against Crystal Palace. Surely we're not going to make that mistake again. Because in the Palace game, I was convinced again. I thought, surely in the last 10 minutes we're going to create an opportunity. That's what we do. Well, we didn't against Palace. I mean, it'd be ridiculous if we can't do it 2 games in a row against teams like this. But I think I don't know.
When you think of all the teams that are in the group stage of the Champions League, is there a worse team than Young Boys?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
No, there isn't, is there? I was just trying to think there. I can't think of anything. The pace since the changes as well, the pace of the game has dropped. United's passing have gone really, really slow.
Good play, Rashford. And I thought he had him on toast there, but that right back's done very well.
I mean, if anything, for me, the substitutions have made United worse. It's opened the game up. It's played to Young Boys' advantage.
Donny says we can't. Donny Anessa says we can't beat defensive teams because Jose doesn't know how to dominate a game. He only knows how to counter threats, which is a very, very good comment.
I think someone said there, surely AEK are worse. I don't know.
Norwegian Collector, this is the big proof that we've only gotten worse. Early this season we were smashing them. Now we can't even put a chance on goal. Embarrassing. But I think that's true. I think we definitely have got worse because obviously I said that at the weekend. Watching us at home against Wolves, and then watching us against Palace, we were a lot worse. A lot worse.
I think the best bit of passion I've seen in this second half was Luke Shaw a few minutes ago, trying to get that player off the pitch. It's just absolutely shocking result. First half performance was pretty decent, but you can't really take that into account because of the opposition. Second half, the foot has come off the gas. And the substitutions.
The thing is, though, I know Valencia are losing. What a bit of defensive play that was by Young Boys.
Yeah.
I know Valencia are losing, but if we draw, it's not over anyway, is it? I don't know how it'll work. They can get the same amount of points as us, I think.
Yeah, I think Valencia will stay on. What would they be on 6? Or is it 5 or 6? We got up 8 points. Juventus got up to 10 points. So it'll still come down to it being in our own hands, but you don't want to go away to Valencia and get a win, especially if you can't beat this lot at Old Trafford. I know we was having a laugh and a joke about the last Champions League game, talking about the Europa League, doing watchalongs on a Thursday, but it's looking like it could be a reality at the minute.
The thing is, in this last 15 minutes since he's brought Lukaku and Pogba on, there hasn't been a distinct change, has there? There hasn't really been.
No, there hasn't. No, it's still been the same type of football. Fellaini has not made any impact in this game whatsoever. He's not been used correctly. Fred, I thought, should have stayed on. I think the substitutions were wrong. Well, substitutions were... Mata and Pogba were right, but I think they've come on for the wrong players. Matic, why is he still on the field? I mean, the game's passed him by for 87 minutes.
Yeah, it's a big thing to discuss. That is in my match reaction. Remember, we're having a call in as well. I'll do my match reaction, then we'll do a Discord call in after that, so you can call in and have your say. I'm sure a lot of you will have a lot to say. I I know I've got a lot to say, but
I mean, Lukaku's price tag, what was that? Was it 75 million or was it closer to the 100 million? I mean, fans leaving already. Because for me, when he's had nearly half an hour on the pitch and all he's had to show for it is a header into the side netting, and that's your main number 9. That's our main man, and that's all he's mustered. Absolute crap, waste of time.
I think Lukaku's a player who needs chances. He's not going to do anything off his own back, is he? He's not,
No, but then Mourinho's took away is, if anyone was going to be able to get a ball into that box, it would be Valencia or Luke Shaw, and possibly maybe sometimes even Lingard, and 2 of them are off the pitch already. So playing it into his feet where he's got no first touch is a complete waste of time. And the guy's just clueless, absolutely clueless. Mourinho, that is. He just doesn't know. When he's got his plan B in Fellaini starting the game, he's lost. He's absolutely lost.
Put the ball in the box. Put the ball in the box. Yeah. Look at the crowd. They've all gone home, says Bjorn Lundberg.
Terrible. We've got just over a minute, just under a minute normal time to go. And it looks like we're hanging on. Alan says watching United play is like watching grass grow. Yeah. It's been that way tonight. So boring.
Goal! Fellaini scores for Manchester United. I told you it would happen. And Mourinho's, what's he doing? Well, Manchester United have scored. That's the thing. Mourinho's ecstatic with it. And, you know what? I told you we'd do it, Marcus. I told you we'd do it. Sir Alex is happy. Manchester United are happy. There's an element of embarrassment. I mean, there is an element of embarrassment, and to be honest with you, it's very hard to sort of, look at how we score. It's just a long pump ball, but at the end of the day, we'll qualify for the Champions League now, and to me, that's the most important thing, is it? To be honest with you, it's a flick on from Lukaku as well. It's a decent bit of control by Fellaini, and he should have scored about half an hour ago, but he took it well. Good goal.
Yeah, fair. The long ball by Luke Shaw from the left back, and he's put it in there. He's took it down on his chest. He's turned bottom right hand corner. But to be honest, it shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't be like this again in the dying minutes of the game. You need the big man to come up trumps again. It's dire. It really is dire. I'm happy we've got the 3 points. The game's not over yet, but it's shocking. It's absolutely shocking. 91 minutes. It's took 91 minutes to utilise Fellaini in the box and to actually put him to some use. I'm not buying into it.
I tell you what, look, I said we were going to win. I was right, and but to be honest with you, that's the. I don't even know what to say, because I don't. It's great when United win, of course it is, and I wanted United to win tonight. But the bigger picture is, he lives on again, doesn't he? And it's the way a win's a win. A win is a win, and you've got to take it. But it's just hard. It's hard, isn't it, for so many United fans to just be sat watching this shit game after game, and there's a bigger picture. There is a bigger picture. It's great to win the game. Of course, it's great to win the game, but there is 100% a bigger picture, and I don't think many United fans are blind to it now.
We're struggling at home to what I think is the worst team in the Champions League. And it takes 91 minutes to put the ball in the net. And, it takes, again, one of Mourinho's fan club to come up trumps for him. It's bad. It's a sad state of affairs. The football is absolutely terrible. And this will only go to prove Mourinho right that the long ball, the hoofball, works. But that's not Manchester United. That is not the Manchester United way of playing football. It's a horrendous style of football.
Mm. They're all walking around hugging each other, and I don't have an issue with that. I don't have an issue with that at all. But I don't feel. I sort of feel now, year 3. Is that something to celebrate? Scraping through. I mean, we scraped our way through that group.
Yeah.
I feel very, very. You can only be honest. There'll be United fans out there saying your reaction to that goal is a disgrace. There'll be other United fans saying, to me, young boys won that game. They very, very nearly got an amazing result, and I'm embarrassed. I'm almost embarrassed to celebrate it because I think it's small time. I think it's small time to do that. Joseph Young says we beat Young Boys, not Real Madrid, in the Champions League finals. Mourinho should have calmed down a bit. I think Mourinho knows the situation at Manchester United, and obviously, we'll get a load of bollocks again from him, won't we? We'll get a load of bollocks from Mourinho in the aftermatch.
Something that's not been mentioned there, I don't know if you saw it, but what he did to that substitution board.
Oh, he'll probably... Well, it's Europe, isn't it? So he'll probably get away with it, to be honest.
Yeah. Celebrated like that, smashing that board as though, that comment just said, it's young boys, it's not Real Madrid, it's a qualification game, it's not a Champions League final. Shouldn't be celebrating like that, really. That's not the right way to behave on the touchline. But, each to their own. Some people will like it because he's showing passion. Some people will not like it, like me. But
I think it's sad that there's United fans who are just, even though we've won a game, they're like,
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just like that thing that, yes, we've won the game. Yes, we've qualified. Fantastic. Brilliant. But look in the manner of how we've had to do that throughout the whole Champions League campaign. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy the team's got through. That's what I wanted. That was the main priority. But it's the manner of the way we're doing it. 91 minutes against the worst fucking team in the Champions League, struggling. And it takes Marouane Fellaini to get us through. Disgraceful. But, each to their own. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. So,
I'm going to do my match reaction now. Thanks for coming on, Marcus.
No worries, mate. Pleasure as always. Thanks for everyone in the comments, and I'll see you all in a bit.
Yeah, cheers, pal. Really appreciate it. I'm just about to go and do my match reaction. Very, very weird game. The link is in the video description for you, which is top line of the video description, or you can go through the homepage, and I'll be giving you my reaction to the game. And it's great to win, but it's so hard to give this sort of reaction because I've spent 90 minutes with that, and then you get that, and it's like, is that good enough anymore? Is that something to celebrate now? I don't know. We'll talk about it in the match reaction. Link in the video description. I'll see you there in about 30 seconds time. Thanks for watching on this. I'll see you there.